It's clobberin' time! It's clobberin' time! Clobberonimo!
Welcome, my dear friends. Greetings, clobberers, clobberonimos, clobberooskies, clobberoids, clobberettes, clobberoids, barians, clobber this, clobber that. And the secret to everyone else is to bang the rocks together, guys. Whee! Clobberonimo! You said it. You said it, number one. Welcome, everybody, to Clobberin' Times issue number 615 on YouTube. 1,315 overall, and it is CLOBBY'S Clubhouse number 91, with, of course, the most wonderful, amazing first officer in the fleet, the lovely, amazing Commander R.M. Briggs, and, of course, the greatest chief engineer of all time, Mark D. with a C. I want to thank my good buddies, both of them for being here, and all of you being here tonight. Number one, let's get started with some words from our first officer.
Okay, well, first, I just want to welcome everyone to the chat. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. We're going to have a marvelous evening talking tales of tomorrow, true science fiction, short stories. We're going to talk about UFO, we're going to dive back into this amazing comic that Clobby is teaching me about. But before we do that, I have to first apologize to all of you for starting late, because you know what? Mark was running a wonderful watch party for those who didn't have an opportunity to imbibe the UFO episode. So that's why we're tardy. Also, before I say a
it's in my contract.
more, it's true. Before I say a single syllable more, I would like it if Clobby could please play Turbines to Speed for Larry and the gang.
Okay, sure.
It's clobberin' time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out.
Okay. There you go, buddy.
Classic.
Anything for you? How was that?
Can't send her to the first officer, right?
That was beautiful. There was some delay on my side, so my internet must be lagging, but everyone was asking for it in the chat. So I just want to say, there you go, folks. I hope you got your fill. And I love that you all love all of these little stingers that
Yeah.
Clobby absolutely loves. They represent all of his favorite things in the fandom. So thank you for requesting that, because I know Turbines to Speed always makes our captain smile. Okay, let's get moving. Hail to everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. I already said that. And I want to say a good evening to the Wrenches. Thank you so much for being here. I also want to give a shout out to my Patreon subs. These marvelous people are backing my new book. They get to read the book before anyone else on my Patreon. 16 Clobberuskis, 735ers, Clobberonimos, Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, Shuta, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, Eric K. and his marvelous Pepperoni Kirby, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C, damn it, Mark, Anti-Derivative Jill, Maximum Redstone, JJ Kirk, Dadman and the Dadman Clan, and of course, Lord and Lady Thoth and their wonderful little beagle, Lance. So, you know what? I'm not going to use up any more time other than to wave hello to Mark and say that I'm so looking forward to Chittity Chat tonight, and to blow bazillions of kisses to my captain, the guy who I love, one of my best friends in the whole world, Clobby. Let's do it!
All right. Love you, number one. I hope you've had a fun trip out there. Mark D, the great chief engineer, buddy. What you got to say before we get started?
Oh yeah, it's good to be back in civilization. So I was at the scout camp volunteering for a few days out there, helping the scouts, teaching them how to smoke ribs. Of course, I got to get the food. Sorry, and
Not the
cook
Super
out,
Scouts, I hope.
not the Super Scouts.
From the Galactica. No, good.
No,
Good.
they were not from the Galactica. How to cook apple pie in the Dutch oven on the on a campfire. All practical life-saving skills. But no, it's a lot of fun to be out there and disconnect for a little bit. Although you can't get too far away these days with cell phones and computers.
Right.
People expect you to, this damn Star Trek stuff. But no, it's good to be back, and I'm fighting maybe a little bit of a sore throat, but I'll get through it because going through, you're out all day and then you're
sure
at night it gets it's all good. But it was the bugs didn't get me, so that was good. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Glad to be here. We got a lot of cool stuff, and I've got some cool a couple of extra. Not extra, but a couple of things that I got in the mail at the show that won't take too long, but could be kind of fun.
Okay.
Could be kind of fun later too. So, and some cool UFO. There's a cool EFM from Jerry Anderson's website.
We'll get to it,
and we'll get to that. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Later, so
well, that's cool.
Some good stuff.
Well, let's do some shout outs and shout outs, shall we?
Let's do it, boss.
It's the clubhouse. It's still casual. We're still just hanging out with our buddies. Let's see what is going on up in here. This is Thursday night, and so tomorrow night, I will be. Of course, I want to thank the great Tom with Midnight's Edge and hanging out with those wonderful people earlier. Let's see what's going on for tonight though. Tomorrow night at the great J-Man's channel. Shout out J-Man. I know he's out there somewhere, but he had to run, I believe.
Crack, smack, choke. Fwong.
Choke. 6 or 7, 6 Central, 7 Eastern, I believe. On J-Man's channel, we're going to talk Batman 66, the reason for my geek existence, what started it all for me, and a panel of J-Man, I think Sean, and could not be reached for further comment, the great artist who did this wonderful art here.
Unbelievable.
And others. We'll talk about some of our favorite things and rankings of some favorite things from the great Adam West series, Batman, affectionately known as Batman 66.
These are a few of his favorite things.
And then a little bit later, I should be hanging out with my great buddy 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser on his channel for the Friday night comic shop talk boys at 8 to 80 p.m. Central. I think that's the time. Maybe he's moved it back. I don't know for sure. Anyway, the great David Martin should be joining us there. We're going to be talking some more Ditko issues of the Amazing Spider-Man run, reviewing that with the Friday night comic shop boys on Nick's channel. And then Saturday night Star Trek
Dun, 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 dun.
gets the next leg on this journey in full gear. Last week, of course, we started it off, our reviews of Star Trek Voyager with a look at the pilot. caretaker. Now this week, full gear. We're getting going with our usual format of 4 episodes per week. So we will be reviewing 4 episodes of Star Trek Voyager. What a great time we had last night. Last Saturday. You were all amazing. It was a lot of fun. So many of you showed up in full support. I hope you will be back next Saturday night. What a great time it was, and we will do some reviewing again. So I'm looking forward to it, and I cannot thank you enough, all of you, for being here with us Saturday night. And then
Zathras won the grand prize, so that's been ordered. So Zathras, it might be there.
I'll send you the money for that right away.
Yeah, don't worry about that. No, but it was 1,000 bars of gold press platinum. No, but look for it. It might take about 7 to 10 days, Zathras. But
I'm so excited for him to get it. He's gonna laugh so hard.
All right. Well, yeah, excellent. Can't wait. Sunday night, the Geekery returns on TPM Eastern on the Great Mark D with the C's channel. Please join us for some just late night Sunday night geeking out.
Are we going to talk Barbie all night? Did you go see it at CLOBBERIN Times?
No, I did not go see that. And if you go see it, I'm firing you from your own show.
Shin kicks. No. Your agonizer, please.
And then of course, Monday night, I'll be on early with J-Man's channel. We've already reviewed these, but in our ongoing review adventure, reviewing all of the Legion of Superheroes appearances in chronological order, silver through bronze. So, and then all kind of other fun stuff going on. I don't know how I clicked that one.
What did you do?
That was just a picture that was up there. I did not put it up there.
Did you make a beautiful poster?
No. Mark left that there last week for some reason.
Oh, okay.
No, man, I hate that I hit that. Now you're going to think I put something. No,
seriously. I just love your beautiful show posters. So
that's not a poster. See, it's just a book. So, remember we showed it to you last week?
Yes.
I don't know why Mark left it there. Never heard of it. It's UFO. Anyway, ooh, I'm sorry.
Blood Philly reviews.
All right. What? I'll be there in just a second, I promise. But first, shout outs to my friends, and we start off with our wrenches. The great Eric K. Whether they're here or not, they get the shout out. Bronze Wrencher.
Hello, sweetheart. Mwah, mwah. Kiss my dog for me, please.
Chris Persia, the Vindicated Wrench of the Great White North. Thank you for all you do, buddy.
Thank you for the beautiful show poster tonight and for promoting my friend's channel and all of his shows on your social media. You are such a loyal and talented person, and for you to spend your energy doing that, I know I'm always thanking you, and I'm never going to stop thanking you because I just love you, honey. Thank you.
You're the man, buddy. Thank you so much. The great D. Bud Martin, the Wrench of Urn.
That is correct. Resident mathematician.
The god of the wrenches, the great wrench of, the great Mountie Wrench himself, Lord Thoth. And, of course, shout out to the lovely goddess of wrenches, Lady Thoth. Avon lives. Long live the Legion, my friend.
So, since all of the dogs are here, since we let the dogs out, that sounded more monkey than dog. I don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, you can chuck some cheese in the chat. Chuck cheese in the chat.
My partner in crime on Earth, B, fellow Legionnaire reviewer extraordinaire, and wrench without fear, the great J-Man. Find his channel and support him. He is the man with the J.
True.
Great pal of the
True.
Let's see here. Hungry Boy, master of the Claboni comics, artist extraordinary.
HP.
Super Wrench Supreme, the great Kal-El. Hey, buddy.
Real
Hope
soup.
you're out there. Real soup indeed. We'll just reach Mjolnir, Maddie's daddy, the troll from Vegas.
Hey, nice to see you, sweetheart. Don't forget to kiss Maddie for me.
That old rascally wrench himself, the Phantom Outsider.
Andy!
And CLOBBERIN Time's own music master, Maximum Redstone.
Maximum Redstone.
Now I'm going to back the chat up and see who else is up in here. This is what we do. We like
back
to
it
look.
Up, back it up, back it
it's
up.
You all make this a show worth doing and worthwhile. So we'd like to get everybody shouted out to let you know what you mean to us. We appreciate you for all being here. And first, a shout out to everyone who is lurking out there. Lurkers, we love you. We appreciate you. And if you're listening on what would you call it? A download or a re-listen or a re-watch or whatever the hell it is. Thank you. Cannot thank you enough. Please, everybody, like and subscribe if you will. It means the world to us.
Yeah,
Appreciate
and
it.
holy Kawasaki, did we did we ever get a lot of feedback from our last Saturday night Star Trek? Tons of comments, and lots of others are always putting these marvelous comments about our shows in there when they're not able to be there with us in the chat, and I just think it's really nice. So shout it out. Love you guys.
Here with us tonight, Penny. Hey, Penny.
Hey,
Popped in
hey,
again. We
sweetheart.
don't. If you're still here, it's great to see you, love. Thank you for popping in. Hope you're doing well, you and the grandchildren and all that. Good to see you. JT Kirk.
JT
I
Kirk.
am
Cheers,
Kirk. Joseph Dredd. Here comes the judge.
Hey, the judge.
Could not be reached for further comment. My friend, good to see you.
Ridiculously talented individual.
Wagner.
Wagner.
Mr. Angel. Chef, what's up, buddy? Hope you're doing well.
Evening, chef.
Good to see you. Smilex, it is fantastic to see you. Great.
That
to
is
have
our
you here.
adopted offspring.
There we go. Well, I'm just so happy to see you here tonight. Zathras is here.
Crap, crap, crap.
In the best of possible ways, of course. Larry.
A man so nice, you should say his name twice. Well, or maybe thrice.
thrice.
Larry is here. I love you, honey.
Indeed, yes. It's always good to see you there, brother. Bush Pan Down, welcome. It takes me a second to get someone to have it yelled out.
Bob, bang, 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 a ding,
Ding, dong, ding, doom, boom, boom, boom. Damn it. Don't worry, I'll get to someone else, I promise. I've yelled all these out already. Good Lord. Man, Michael Beacom, what's up, buddy?
Hey.
Shout out to you and Cassandra.
Did you see
Hope
that
you're doing
beautiful
well.
comment that Michael Beacom made earlier? He
This
said
one?
that he bought the whole series, and that the only reason why he bought the whole Voyager series is that he wanted to hang around with us and all of the friends that he's made in the chat. Like there can be no higher praise than that, than finding true friendships, true camaraderie, a place to just go and hang out and talk about Star Trek. So that was a really nice comment.
Yeah, but I don't. That's a responsibility I'm not sure I want, Michael. But nothing
because he bought Voyager.
I don't like to be the cause of anybody's pain. And by the way,
the pain.
There are people here who love Voyager. So, and if you do like it or love it, that's cool. But I always hate to be the reason anybody buys anything. So, better watch out. I hope you at least derive some enjoyment. And you definitely, it'll be great to have you here. So I'm glad you did, Michael. Except I don't want to be the cause of your pain.
My first comic series because of Clobby. I've
That's
also
Mark's
bought
fault.
3 separate collector's books because of Clobby.
Enabling.
Mark's fault. Probably Mark's fault. Don Ranger Power. Don Ranger Power. What's up, buddy? Donnie.
Nice job at that, Clobber Times.
Don Ranger Power. That one? No, thank you.
I just saw the opening to the show flash before my eyes.
Oh boy. There you go. Well, my kids like Donnie, that was their time. Power Rangers, that and Pokemon. I loved all that. Captain Infinity and beyond. Now, Captain Infinity, it's good. Timus Maximus. I was I was only able to lurk, but I was at your channel earlier, and I see you get beleaguered a lot with more time travel battles and Rick Deckard battles and stuff like that. Well, we got some timey-wimey stuff that's coming up on these 4 episodes of Voyager this week. Just saying. Talking to the time police.
Yep, you better show up, and you better bring your badge.
Blunt Villy reviews. What we have here? Oh, Larry Levis had just been born. What? Just been born. I've just been born.
Aw, 9 months. Thank you.
Oh no!
Thank you, Larry.
We gave birth to a Larry. We're very proud parents.
You gave birth to twins. Yeah.
We did. This is my Larry. This is my other brother, Larry.
I'm Larry. This is my brother, Daryl. This is my other brother, Daryl. I love that.
No, it's got to be Larry. I'm Larry.
Yeah, I know.
This is my brother, Larry.
I guess in this universe, it's Daryl with 2 Larry brothers. It makes sense.
It's true.
Yeah.
Blunt Philly reviews. Thank you for being here. Good to see you.
Evening.
Let's see here. And Ravenscroft. Hey. Ravenscroft 82, that is. Thank you for being here.
WKRP in the clubhouse.
Where, huh? What, when?
Oh, just Larry making a WKRP reference.
Nice.
So I'm looking around for Herb Tarlick.
Yes, I'm looking for Les Nessman, the news with Les Nessman.
I swear, I thought turkeys could fly.
Yeah. I thought turkeys could fly. Yeah, I love it. All right, let's see. Darth Morgoth the second. Hello there, Dorothy. Darth Morgoth the second. I don't know why that's a twister for me. I apologize, but Darth, good to see you again.
Everything's a twister for me tonight because I was at the dentist. So
there you go.
I'm a bit of a dingbat. I was at the
That's
dentist.
all right.
What can I say, folks?
I'll
You got
be
no
your
cavities.
dentist. I'll be your dentist.
Do you floss every night?
I have a talent for causing things pain.
I'll be your dentist. All right, people will pay you to be inhumane. All right, so Fiona.
Evening, Fiona.
What up, love?
Send in a curtsy.
Hi, Fiona.
Almost there, folks. Trying to get through all these. Not sure. Don't want to miss anybody. Masters Maniac Mexico. What's up, MMM?
Hey, Trip M's.
How you feeling? Hope you're doing well. Almost there, folks.
Oh, Larry,
Dave's,
you're so kind to me. I love you. Thank you very much.
Dave C.
Dave!
That's all right. Yes, indeed. Going to the let's do it. I think that's Pat S. What's up, brother?
Ooh.
Now I think we're caught up now. I think we are caught up. See if I'm going really fast, I think. All right, okay. All right, so we're caught up now. What shall we do? How shall we start? Should we start with our usual tales of tomorrow and then work our way up?
What do you think, boss?
Yeah, might as well pop that one out first.
Yeah.
What we do here, folks, and we're gonna mix it up a little bit in the future. It's not always gonna be exactly the same, but we like to review things and then do other things. For example, for a while there, about a year or so ago, not too long, maybe less than a year, number one was reviewing various science fiction films to see watch. We might do that again soon, like we're just one or two where we actually all watch one, and maybe. But right now, when we get done with Tales of Tomorrow, maybe we'll throw a science fiction film or two that we haven't watched, or at least hadn't seen in a while, and try that. We'll do some different stuff, and then we'll pick shows, of course. And then, of course, after Tales of Tomorrow, we're going to do a UFO episode for you. Then we're going to do a Star Trek comic, and we're going to then we'll talk about other things coming down the road that we could possibly review. But Clubhouse is not necessarily about reviews, but they do make for a lot of fun. So we're always going to review something.
Yeah. And the thing is that when we do review things, it's more of a discussion about the content. And I think that's why it works. We don't plod through the episodes step by step talking about what happened. It's like shooting the bull, and so it's really nice. Bossman, I have to pump the brakes here for just 1 second because, Max Redstone, he's been in hospital recently and he's facing another big hospital visit. He's okay, but this is a serious thing. So he's all right. But, he could use your prayers and hugs and stuff like that because, he's our bud. Anyway, he has made a request and he doesn't make requests often. So I was wondering if you would please fulfill it for me and for Max. He's asked if you could please shout him out as Little Zacky.
Well, I'm glad you asked that because I'm going to read it. If you don't mind, I'm going to read a super chat. No, a normal chat from somebody in that because I have a question to answer for that idiot Clobby who stepped away and let me take over for him. Michael Beacom says, Clobbering times, I had heard you have not watched all of The Invaders. Now, that is a series to watch. Review. There's a lot of profit in it. Well, actually, you heard incorrect. I happen to know that Clobby has watched The Invaders many times, but I do believe you're right, Michael Beacom. There's a lot of profit to be made if you're then watching Invaders. Great show with Roy Finnich. Quite Quinn Morton production in color. So there you go. And Max Redstone, you are the man, the great master of the limits. I think I should hire you to work for me. Would you work for a poor old Ferrari Vegas? We can make lots of platinum. Just saying.
So good.
I'm taking it back over to Clobby now. I have to go. I'm going back to Riza. And Mookie's not going with me this time.
Is she wearing clothes?
Seki, where are you going?
just check with Quark and take your clothes off or something. I don't know. No, put them back on, in fact. Please put them back on.
Oh, God.
Oh, my. I hope that wasn't too bad, Max. Sorry.
It was beautiful. But Larry is asking you to close out that wonderful impression by a very loud inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Wait, let's see what he says. Oh, that's it. I'm not taking over. Rom is taking over.
Moogie. I hate when he says Moogie.
Me too.
Well, actually, I can't. He does say inconceivable, but there's a guy that says it even better. It looks sort of like him, and I got to find it though.
Inconceivable. 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 You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
And Raquel has still not watched that movie. We got to add that to the clubhouse.
Nah.
Oh, Rom.
It could be a clubhouse review movie, but I have that it runs calendar to something that one of my core beliefs,
which is
I love that movie, but
yeah,
cajoling and coercing, trying to coerce anyone into watching a movie that they don't want to watch, they haven't watched. I can't. It goes against my every principle.
I know, but
it'd be one thing if you just go, if she said, okay, I'm curious, everyone likes it, I give it a watch. But if someone doesn't really care to get around to watching something, they don't want to watch it, because I've been there. And I don't like people to try to talk me into watch. It usually makes me never watch something.
The only reason why I haven't watched The Princess Bride, that's what it's called, right?
Yes.
Every time I look it up, it costs money.
Well, okay. I mean, that's
I own like 6 copies. Do you want one of mine?
Yes.
That's fine. Now that's different. Oh man, Bush Pan Down, really? I need to order that first one, but I can't afford it right now. But the ROM Omnibus, oh my God, you're killing me with that. No, it can only be about 2 of them, right? And yes, ROM Space Knight, not. I love it when ROM Space Knight cries for Moogie. Must be Schadenfreude.
Mr. Angel would like you to fess up now.
Oops, sorry.
He says, okay, Claudia, admit it. Finally, you were doing the voice acting in the show. No shame in admitting it.
Oh,
I finally got Fezzik with the Holocaust cloak. So we're talking Princess Bride. So,
okay, Lobby, admit it. Finally, you were doing the. No, it was Wallace Shawn. I am no Wallace Shawn, but I thank you for appreciate that, sir. You're
sorry about that autocorrect that turned your Clobby into a lobby.
Lobby's fine. I like it. Clobby Lobby. This is a new store I'm opening up.
Clobby Lobby. No, that's what we should call our green room. Like before we go on air, we should call it the Clobby Lobby. Hey, that's a gooder.
Yes, Fiona, if you want to be the science officer, please make a uniform. And that's boy, that sounds like a totally lecherous old man telling a lovely lady to put herself in a uniform, right? But I'm proud of myself, not for that. Yep, I'm embarrassed, but not embarrassed enough to tell her not to do it though.
And Raquel has no idea the references in there.
No, that looks like Andre the Giant.
It is Andre the Giant.
Okay. I don't watch that either, but I had a sibling that watched it all the time.
He's great in this movie. I don't watch wrestling either.
No, it's not my cup of tea.
McFarlane did a great job with this giant. Yep.
Michael Beacom. Well, it's not just autocorrect now. It can be multiple layers of autocomplete, which is why when people get very upset with others for grammatical errors or spelling errors, I do not, and I insist that folks do not. Eric Kay is someone who's very intelligent, and do you know how he hangs out with us? He hangs out with us by speaking into his phone, and it's voice to text. So many times you'll see his texts and his messages to us, and they seem almost incomprehensible. It's voice to text. And unfortunately, there are multiple layers of autocorrect and autocomplete. And so people really have to wrestle with those things. So I'm not a nitpicker in that anymore. On paper, yes. In the digital world, I don't think it's necessary or even rational to expect people to be able to, be perfect.
Thank you, Chef. You're too kind, man. I really appreciate that. You're very nice of you. So I guess we'll start with we'll go ahead and get on with our first episode of Tales of Tomorrow. Shall we?
Yeah. Here, let me put this up on here.
The Fatal Flower, or is it called The Little Shop of Horrors?
You know,
It's called The Fatal Flower.
um,
Fatal Shop of Horrors.
I'd like to know. I actually was going to look that up, and I thought that we should talk about that on the Clubhouse instead. So I wanted to keep
What?
it so fresh you could slap it. So I wanted to find out if Little Shop of Horrors was written before The Fatal Flower.
I don't think so.
I wonder.
Wasn't it a play?
Yeah.
It was
It was a play
before it
was a
It was
movie.
an off-Broadway musical.
So,
Yeah.
I don't think they're that.
It was
similar.
also a 1960 film by Roger Corman.
But yeah, but I don't think they're all that similar, really. But yeah, I mean, if you know,
No, I was just kind of making it as a
No, but
you think of it though, yeah. With
I didn't actually. You just
well, you know, the thing is that
I bet-
traveling and taking a plane and going to all of these exotic places and reading all of these magazines about folks who had gone to far-flung places in our world. The world really still felt very new in 1952. Especially folks who weren't super loaded, where they could travel around and learn about the world. So we only knew about the world through stories. And so I think that there is a great deal of that at play in tonight's storytelling.
Well, here's a little interesting tidbit I found. Some Wikipedia, so I don't know how accurate it is, but it says Little Shop of Horrors is a 1960 American horror comedy film directed by Roger Corman. Written by Charles B. Griffith, the film is a farce about a florist assistant who cultivates a plant that feeds on human blood. The film's concept may have been inspired by Green Thoughts, a 1932 story by John Collier about a man-eating plant. Hollywood writer Dennis McDougall suggests that Griffith may have been influenced by Arthur C. Clarke's 1956 science fiction short story, The Reluctant Orchid, which was in turn inspired by the 1905 H.G. Wells story, The Flowering of the Strange Orchid.
So we have
a lot of literary themes
yes,
are linked.
Lots of
together,
action in this area, and you brought it together exactly like I predicted you would. Mark, good job.
Thank you.
I love it when you do stuff like that. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like when you start to backtrack and see where folks are inspired or where they get their ideas from. That's really important. Could not be reached for further comment, has asked when the Day of the Triffids was written.
I'm not sure when it was written, but I think the first movie was from the 50s, so I'm sure the book was written some maybe 30s or 40s. But I couldn't speculate, could not, without looking it up.
I just watched that recently.
Cam, what's up? Cam Crash Courses. How you doing, buddy?
Good to see you, sweetheart.
Always good to see you.
Well, Cam.
Yeah, so it's important to mention all that stuff because this is a cluster of storytelling that, like I said, is really inspired by this idea of not knowing about the world and about having the limited ability to see the world. And it seems almost inconceivable nowadays because, we're constantly plugged in, and it seems as though, man has set foot in every corner of the available galaxy at this point. But so anyways, let's dig into it.
1951. Thank you, Smilex.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
Tales
Go
of
for it.
Tomorrow, but the idea of you can't say terraforming because that would be earth forming. It would be like exoforming, like exoterrestrial forming or reforming of earth is doesn't belong to one person. It's a science fiction trope. Anyways, let's go. Tales of Tomorrow, The Fatal Flower is season 2, episode 17. This first aired on December 12th, 1952. It was written by a gentleman by the name of Frank de Falita. And, the synopsis on this is it just sucks. I mean, this user-generated crap is awful. So I just made a little summary of my own. So here we go. We join a botanist on site in the middle of a jungle, lecturing his assistant about the value in investigating where, quote, the vegetable kingdom stops and the animal kingdom takes over, end quote. This is the vegetable king. This is this idea that the vegetable kingdom is poised to take over, and he's using vegetable very loosely here. We're to think about these far-flung jungles, thick vegetation with all of these unknown potions for making our medicines and man-eating plants, things like the Venus flytrap, and so on and so forth. So it's trying to trigger the mind the way that the old books like Tarzan and books of the like used to do for people in their minds. They're studying a species, a Venus flytrap in the Amazon, and the assistant is perspiring profusely. He wants to go home, and boy, does he whine about it. The doctor has created a hybrid Venus flytrap large enough to devour a man. Only, thus far, it's just growing and growing and growing and not feeding. It only takes in water and its roots expand and it grows. The assistant asks if it's supper time, and the professor ominously replies, yes. And I think that this is a great little moment because they make the actor portray as though the professor could be the villainous one here, but then it completely shifts to the other guy. So it's a great little play on how tone of voice can shift innocence or villainy. A local delivers the airmail. The assistant bizarrely, creepily asks to read the professor's mail. Apparently he hasn't received any mail yet. He's lonely and he's bored, this assistant of the professor's. They have an odd conversation about the letter the following morning. The assistant is rude and refuses to share this letter that the professor has given him to keep him entertained. Then they argue about the contents of the letter. The professor hurriedly consumes a high blood pressure pill or a heart pill. We're not sure at this point, but we know that he's a man who is a little bit weak and physically unable to exert himself or get himself involved in arguments where he would become quite upset. Unfortunately, he falls into this man-eating plant, and he's briefly embraced by it. And then for some reason, the plant releases him. The professor is delighted because this proves that the creature that he has created has expressed its first desire to consume flesh. At supper, the professor fires the assistant. And this is over this argument over this letter. The good-natured professor giving him giving the assistant one of his letters to keep him preoccupied as he whines incessantly about wanting to go home, and then becomes sort of this sinister, sort of demented a-hole about the whole situation. So, like I said, at supper, the professor says, "Look, I don't want you to work for me anymore. I'd like you to go home. You're acting creepy, and you won't give me back my letter." The assistant suddenly, now that he's lost his job, offers to return the professor's letter. The professor laughs, saying no, after declaring the assistant will never work in science or in botany ever again. He can expect that throughout the botany community, the professor will ensure he never works again. So at this point, we really know that both of these guys are jerk-offs. The professor is this really tit-for-tat sort of, I don't know. He's an annoying jerk-off who is abusing his power, and the assistant is equally annoying, also a massive jerk-off and a creep. So
it's like in a contest to see who's the biggest jerk-off, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
you're welcome. Yeah,
and I think it's being done on purpose. Hey, Turing, Alan Turing, nice to see you. And I think it's being done on purpose. And we can't reveal why, because of course we never reveal the ending of Tales of Tomorrow. But there is a real desire here on behalf of Frank to make sure that we utterly, fully and completely, utterly hate both of these wastes of skin. These are two sacks of garbage in skin suits, but the pair of them, one more insufferable than the next. The professor realizes that he wants the letter due to the fact that he after not hearing from his estranged wife for an extended period of time, that, oh my goodness, in allowing his assistant to choose a letter in order to entertain himself, it could be a letter from his estranged wife.
That was so weird and random.
It was very weird, very random. The assistant says he hasn't read the letter, but nevertheless, he taunts the professor with the possibility that it could be from the professor's estranged wife.
Yeah.
And the taunting and goading go on. It goes on for days. Okay, so they're at one another's throats for days. He's a real jerk about it. Finally, the professor snaps his crayons and ransacks the assistant's room looking for the letter, all to no avail. The professor continues to study his creation, and now that he knows that it will feed on flesh, he begins to feed it live chickens. But of course, like every good scientist, he wants to see how long his creation can go without eating. So he starts to document the intervals in which it must consume, and he stops feeding it. The two men meet in front of this ungodly creation of the professor's, and they begin to argue. And I'm not going to say what happens because, of course, I want you to watch Tales of Tomorrow. The reason why I want you to watch Tales of Tomorrow is because this is when authors had a healthy relationship with corporations. Corporations would seek out authors, and they had these marvelous short stories, marvelous science fiction stories written by science fiction authors. And they would be turned into teleplays by teleplay writers. And then these marvelous corporations would showcase these beautiful short stories so that they could hawk their wares, sell their products. So it was a very good entertainment ecosystem. Of course, now corporations do all of the writing, they do all of the promoting, they do the whole quote unquote entertainment, if that's what you want to call it. So I want you to watch this. So I'm not going to tell you how it ends. However, I'm going to tell you this. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Clubby?
Well, I just want Akili Chow, roll tide. Good to see you. Touring Machine, I just want to let you know that this was not Riff Tracks or Mississippi CK have never done this because this is not a movie. It's an episode of a show from 1951 that we review every week called Tales of Tomorrow. It's a very like a 20-minute type show. So I doubt, unless they showed it as one of their MST3K or Riff Trap shorts, which is possible, they could have done that, but they've never done it as a film. So I'd let you know.
And Touring, it's like the boss said, it's only 20 minutes. Like if you fast forward through the commercials, it's literally a 20-minute show.
Now, Riff Tracks has done shorts, but I've never heard of them doing Tales of Tomorrow shorts, but because they usually just do like old commercial films, corporate commercial films and stuff. But he says he remembers them doing something like that. You never know. I would actually like it if they did. I'd like to see that. But anyway, I just thought this episode abandoned any kind of real science fiction ideas that could be about a couple of bickering idiots. And that's what really took me out of everything was the idiotic pettiness. They really never give you any good reason for the assistants. He's bored. He's hot. He doesn't want to be there. Fine. But for him to start screwing around with the doctor, like, I want to buy your letter. I'll give you money for it. And he says, no, you can have it. I don't care. No, I want to buy it from you. Just take it and go read a letter. It's fine. I don't give a crap. That argument alone was like, are you kidding me? Jesus Christ. And it gets worse. It gets worse from there. Every bickering little dumb, petty argument. When he decides he has a dream and he's like, oh no, maybe I need to get that letter back. And he's that right there. Hey, Dad Man and Dad Man Clan.
Hey, Dad Man Clan.
Right there. When he goes to ask, he wants it back again. You don't have any. There's no serious stakes to the story because he simply said, yeah, I'll throw it back. I mean, whatever. The guy, he's a big baby. Let him have his letter back. And they should have nothing to quarrel about. They're both just there doing a job. And it's never like, in other words, there's never at any moment like they have any kind of serious reason to want to, to be enemies. There's never, it's other than just one of them being the doctor being kind of a dismissive old fool who doesn't suffer his idiocy, and the other being a complaining, annoying little punk. They both need to be eaten by plants. It's just,
well, for me, I considered that part reasonable due to the amount that I've read on how isolation begins to play with your mind and your behavior. It can make you annoying. It can make you want to self-delete. so I can get that
They-
past the algorithm.
Right.
It really makes people behave in ways that they never would otherwise.
He signed up for this and he could leave anytime. I don't think they were being forced to be anywhere though. Forced.
Well, yes, this is true, right? This is
Stranded,
true.
yes. They're
Yeah.
forced somewhere, in captivity or stranded, yes. These were just a couple of dopes who took on a job.
Mhm.
One guy just totally not fit for the job. Being
The
little annoying
assistant
twerp.
is so bad.
It's awful. And his
Yep.
character, the actor, was, I mean, Victor Jory, I've seen him and stuff. He's a good actor. The doctor, even though he's over the top in this. The other guy's terrible. And again, there's no really motive for him to, he's just being a jerk because he's bored. And then the doctor's being a jerk because he's bored. And then the other one's Ray Lucard. Good to see
Well,
you.
they didn't have YouTube there.
No YouTube, I guess.
Mark.
You have to buy a letter from somebody. Should you have brought some books or magazines?
Yeah,
Maybe?
like things called books and games.
Yeah, I mean,
and
it
puzzles.
was. Hey, it's the 50s. That's all you have is books and comics and pulps, and bring some newspapers. Jesus Christ, you knew you were going to be there for months, and you didn't bring anything. You got to buy a letter from somebody. What in the hell's wrong with you?
I liked his book. What was his book called again? Science for Assistants or something like that. What
Yeah,
was the
for
book
assistant.
called?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
He was reading that book and you're like, oh boy. Yeah, I think it was called like being an assistant in botany. No, it was science. I don't know what it was. It was just a ridiculous book.
And are they
That's a
really that
smug
isolated?
face
They had a
there.
guy. I hate this guy. Aren't they really that? Are they really that isolated? Some guy delivered some shit to him. I'll be like, hey, can I go?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Tell
local.
him to bring you some stuff. I mean,
Well, I guess
no,
the
no,
letters from home are 3 months. Take 3
Yeah.
months to get there, allegedly.
I understand that, but I mean,
Yeah.
you should have
Yeah.
brought stuff. You should have been prepared. And again, the guy didn't pop out of thin air. So I mean, someone's delivering stuff to him. But anyway,
Agreed.
it just did. There's not much of a
Follow him
story
out of
here.
the jungle and leave.
Yes.
Larry would like to buy a letter from Vanna White.
Well, I would too. V, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so all right. Well, anyway, so Mark,
Well, yeah, I agree. Pretty much all of what you said. I
I
think
should give it a rating. I'm sorry. I give it a 4.
give it 4. Okay.
I think the writing was it wasn't even interesting arguing and fighting. It was really just like annoying where you wanted to, and when you want to beat both of them up instead of sympathy from one of them and the other one, that's bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I thought the assistant was much worse because you know, if you get hired to be an assistant, you'd think you'd be honored to be
Subordinate.
working with the
Was he though? They were both
professor.
idiots. Good, sorry.
Yeah, but the I thought the assistant was even worse though. The first opening scene, it's like he's whining and complaining. It's like, didn't you know what you were signing up for? And
Yeah.
I'm guessing this is a more prestigious scientist who it's an honor
Yeah.
to work for. And I could see maybe 3 or 4 months later, getting a little bit more annoyed. But yeah, I guess they don't have no air conditioning. They're miserable. They didn't bring anything to do. I guess the scientist won't even play cards because he's a stick in the mud and he's just working 24/7.
Nerds.
And
Get those nerds.
The sci-fi aspect too with the plant. It's not like the plant could walk around and eat humanity, or it was a day of the Triffids or something.
Yeah.
That, there was
It
no
wasn't that scary.
overarching menace. Other than maybe they could have left it the plant was multiplying, or they did a pretty good job in terms of obviously the puppetry of the plant. I thought was pretty decent.
So you didn't buy that that oddball soliloquy at the end where he was like, do you remember the oddball soliloquy?
Yeah.
Where he was like, they're coming. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, that was
What is it?
that was
Lugosi?
just
Claude
was just trying
Selling.
to
Hey, Claude Selling, good to see you.
He's Richard
Claude,
III. He wants to tell you all of his
Richard the
secrets.
Third.
Yeah, the
Anyway.
plants are going to take over, but there was no menacing aspect. Of course, the budget on this, it's basically a stage play, so
Yeah.
it's very limited.
It's like
and
what,
it was a pretty
19
good
minutes, 20 minutes?
Yeah, so it was pretty good for what it was, but they can't convey that, like, the planet, you need to have the plant develop legs and start walking off, it's going to eat everyone. So this is the message from the plants in
Maybe
the
he said
movie,
a mean
in the
green
show.
mother from outer space.
They want you to eat more meat. Do not eat the plants. So,
Well, You
Get
gotta
that
give-
off of here.
There was there was one good scene though.
Get that out of here.
Nerds!
Mark.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, number one. I thought you were done. You there?
that's my
Yes.
favorite T-shirt.
Did you just see what Mark put up on this?
Yeah, eat more meat. It's a plant. You don't want to eat all the poor plants. I mean, one of my I got to tell this story. I love my favorite stories to tell. One of my sister's friends back in high school was just, God bless you. If you want to be a vegetarian, you want to just eat, I don't care. Do whatever you want. She kept a whole weekend. She's visiting, she's extolling the virtues of being a vegan, and this is the 80s. I'm like, it was preachy. And so then I said, I only eat meat because the plants are far superior to any animals, and I really don't want to hurt the plants. So I only eat meat. I'm like, maybe you should rethink yourself, what you're doing. She kind of looked at me, I'm joking, this is a total joke. And she's like, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't eat plants anymore.
Like, what are you going to eat? You know what you need to do? You need to play her that segment of video where I blow up Wesley, where the kid yells to him, "You can't disturb the plants." Everyone, please say goodnight to Penny. She's on
Penny,
bed.
good night, dear.
Penny, thank you for joining us. Good night, sweetheart.
Someone who asked, by the way, this is on YouTube and archive.org and other stuff. So, but different. Some episodes aren't. I mean, most of them seem to be on YouTube at least because I couldn't find us on some of the place. But anyway, so
yep.
They're not great copies, by the way.
Yeah, they look kind of wonky, but I do have a special a mashup of tonight. It's a quicker, but this is what really happened in the episode.
Uh-oh. I'm DM'd there for sure. I'm screwed on that. I'm going to get in trouble for that one.
No, that's all mashed up and chopped up.
How much we betting?
That's
okay, but I'm saying we are.
That's been chopped up into like 1 million pieces, so that's like 3-second clips.
I hear you.
That's Dragon's Domain, the episode that scared the crud out of me as a kid.
Is that, are you talking about Space 1999?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get to see the clip.
It didn't show up?
No, and I'm on my side of StreamYard, there's like a 2 or 3 second delay. So it's quite a bit.
That's
on
crazy.
My side. Yeah. Anyway,
Weird.
I didn't get to see it. So I think I know the episode you're talking about Space 1999 when you were super, super scared.
Yeah, you talked about it before.
Yeah, he's talked about it more than once. Remember on the Global Geek Gang? He was like, it traumatized me, man.
Yes, it was from Space 1999.
That's the scariest thing I've ever seen as a kid. And
yeah, well, you were also just wee.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one forever.
Dragon's Domain.
What did you rate this one?
I give this a 4 too, I think, because it's just
so weird. I have a higher rating than you and Clobby.
It is weird.
Has this ever happened before?
All they did was bicker. There was nothing to the story.
It's true.
And all they did was be annoying at each other, going, "Man, I hope the monster kills them both."
Oh, and I had Popeye's chicken. Maybe I was just in a good mood.
That could be it. Hey, no, I mean, look, it's a good show. I mean, so they have. I think Rod Serling would have made this really good. First of all, he would have toned down a lot of the really bad dialogue and motivation.
True.
And he would have made this, he would have brought some atmosphere to this.
True.
Probably would have got rid of that lousy actor. Victor Drew's a good actor, but the other guy, the little guy, the assistant dude, he would not have hired him.
Yep.
He'd have hired a polished actor. And so there's something there.
Yep.
No question about it.
There was some good tension, I thought. I wanted to know what happened. I wanted to keep watching it. But then it just didn't. The end didn't. It didn't work out in the end. So there's a little bit of tension there between the two of them. But yeah, better actors or better, higher stakes. If you
I agree with you guys, but
happen.
for me, it's also the fact that this reminds me of like a story I would have read when I was young, and you guys know this because you guys are like good friends. But, I should say to the chat that I was a voracious reader when I was young, to the point where some of my teachers elected me to take sponsorships so that I could donate money to charity on reading drives. And this totally reminds me of like one of those little short stories that would have been in one of those little short story collections. And I'm thinking that's why I'm giving it a pass. Because you know
That's
what?
cool.
I don't disagree with anything you guys are saying.
Ah, I
It's just
mean,
for me, it's like stepping into the past and reading one of those stories.
nothing wrong with that at all. Believe me, I don't hate it. I mean, no, I just yeah, I mean, there's the thing is when they do this, well, the great thing about the show is if they do one that you don't like, it's quick.
Mhm.
It's over quick, and when it's good, that's even better. Well, bonus. But if you don't really like it, you got through it quick,
Mhm.
and you know, and then there was
It's
chicks in it, so it's no
So
fun.
you know what's going to happen too.
Right?
You're just waiting for what's going to
That's-
happen. To happen.
Really? You know what's going to happen? Come
Yeah.
on.
Oh, I
That's
knew
not
this the whole time.
true.
Oh yeah, no.
The
You
very
would think
first-
you would think one,
I
but
knew.
not both.
I knew both.
I
I knew the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah, and that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole time.
Oh, I'm such a baby.
That's okay.
No,
Sorry, everyone. I'm just not cynical enough for these two.
You knew that the thing was going to start singing. I'm just a green mother from outer space, and I'm bad. Boop, boop. You knew that was going to happen.
I was totally
Feed me,
right.
Simo. Feed me all night long. Because if you feed me, Simo. And that's,
That's such
yeah,
a good
I love that
song.
movie. That's the man. That movie's got some hilarious bits.
Yeah, it's a gooder.
Yes,
Little Rick
sirree.
Moranis.
So there we go. And now on to some UFO, right? Unless you're not done with this one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We want some UFO. Some UFO.
Let's do it. This is UFO
Yep.
Destruction, Season 1, Episode 9, ITV 19, Prod Code 20. This first aired on December 2nd, 1970. And now Mark will pull out the golden Bible of UFO. And you better be wearing gloves. Or I'm going to send shin kicks.
And potato chips too. No, just kidding.
Oh, I love potato chips. Don't say that.
I want some. I have some pretzels. Is that good enough?
Oh, pretzels are good, especially if you
Yeah.
have queso. Just dip the
was-
pretzels
Really?
in queso.
Queso, pretzels and queso. Are you
Yeah.
insane?
Oh, it's so good.
Wop wop wop.
Clubby, just so
Pretzels
you
and
know,
queso.
I'll dip just about anything in queso.
Fair cop. So will I.
Oh, my reading glasses are in the car, but I should be okay.
What?
Well, because when I went camping, I put them in the car. And
Yeah, you
I had
go.
them in the car. You
There
got to
go.
park and then walk.
Scoutmaster
Walk in the
job is never done.
Who's ready for some Jerry Anderson's UFO?
Hey, if you don't have your glasses, do you want
Oh, I got it. I got it. No, I got it.
Summary?
I got it because I don't have my contacts in. No, I can take my
Okay,
my
sweetheart.
long distance. I'm just joking, but yeah, I can do it. Yep. Okay,
What,
destruction.
you got the book or what? What were
I
they
got the
at?
book. No more cracks about the
No
book.
cracks
but
about the
yeah,
book.
No
wanna
one
show
cracks
the,
about the
uh,
book.
Doesn't look like a book
Oh, here,
to
let me show the let me get my slideshow going too. While I'm doing this.
Fiona, I will beam you some pretzels.
Let me switch my camera
Smiley
over.
says, one of the best theme tunes ever. Yeah.
I would. I think they should do a remake of that Tales of Tomorrow episode that we just rushed, but on the theme of Hot for Teacher. It takes place, a couple really, really hot teacher and really, really bad girl student.
That
I'm
doesn't
just
sound good.
saying.
That sounds like a bow chicken wow wow.
Well, that's the name of the episode.
Not sci-fi, boss.
What was the name of the episode again? It was called the Fatal Flower. We'll keep that title actually. And yes, it'll be Bell
The
Chicken.
phallic flower.
No.
Sorry.
The Fatal Works.
Sorry.
Sorry now. No. And it'll have these two chicks in it. As a matter of fact, there you go. We've got our cast right there. These two.
Nice.
There we go.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh, and I
And
just
her.
saw StreamYard
She's- her
said you
too.
could touch up your appearance now too. I can make myself look better.
What?
Oh, pretty nice.
That's
Yeah.
bad.
What
Don't
are you
do
talking-
that.
what?
Don't change
Yeah.
how you look.
All right, well, let's get to the episode. Destruction. Who cares how us Rocky guys look?
Mine doesn't have
Teleplayed
that.
by Dennis Spooner, directed by Ken Turner. It just popped up on mine, maybe because I'm extra ugly. But anyway, when a
There you
Navy
go.
cruiser in the Atlantic scores a direct hit on a UFO, and the
Mhm.
ship's photographer gets a shot of the craft as it crashes into the sea, the photo makes headlines in the Daily Gazette. The naval investigation supervised by Admiral Sheringham concludes that the UFO was a prototype aircraft, but Straker decides to conduct his own investigation, suspecting a cover-up to preserve the security of the cruiser's operations. Foster makes contact with Sheringham's secretary, Sarah Bons, I'm forgetting how to say her name.
Bosanquet.
Bosanquet, and develops a relationship with her. She takes him to her apartment, where Foster is surprised to find a powerful telescope pointing out through a skylight.
Woo!
Wowzers.
She was a
Colonel
wowzer
Lake-
redhead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, she was. Colonel Lake keeps watching the apartment and witnesses Sarah. Yeah, she's spying. Witnesses Sarah using the telescope to transmit a series of figures that she has copied from Sheringham's papers to a waiting UFO in deep space. Straker explains to Foster that Sarah Foster is one of the experts who helped to build Moonbase and is believed to have been kidnapped by the aliens after going missing from the lunar surface. He surmises that John I can't say her. John
Bosanquet.
Bosanquet, and I should get that with my
Minimus
French
is here, by the way.
Bosanquet.
Minimus. Also, Ravenscroft has to go to bed.
Good
Night.
night, good night, Ravenscroft. Thanks for being here, my friend.
Night, John Boy.
Good night.
Night, Ravenscroft. Night, John
Good night.
Boy.
Watch
John
out for
Boy.
ET. Is being held hostage to
Go
force his daughter
home.
to pass confidential information, such as the coordinates of the cruiser, to the aliens. While Colonel Lake trails the Navy cruiser to Skydriver, Straker has Sheringham escorted to Shadow HQ, where he explains that if Shadow is to have any hope of stopping the aliens' plans, Sheringham must reveal the nature of the cruiser's missions. The Admiral discloses that the cruiser is dumping thousands of gallons of a virtually indestructible experimental nerve gas. Now, how could you not be able to destroy it? But we'll talk about that after. If the aliens attack the ship and destroy the gas containers, it will end all life on Earth. Convinced that the aliens are using radio jamming to penetrate Shadow's defensive screens, Straker launches the interceptors to keep a visual lookout for approaching UFOs. Captain Minto makes a sighting of 2 UFOs and manages to destroy one of them because he's only got 1 missile. Engineering-wise, I don't agree with that, but the other UFO gets through to Earth and opens fire on the cruiser.
I think every man is only entitled to 1 missile. I don't think you should be allowed to have more than 1 missile.
Okay, we'll discuss that later. Skydiver closes in, and just in time, Sky 1 is launched. Well, it depends on how old you are. The UFO retreats, but the Skydiver captain targets the craft and destroys it. Straker confirms to Henderson that by using a double frequency, Shadow will be able to plot the UFOs once again. Henderson assures Straker that in the circumstances, no proceedings will be issued against Sarah, but Straker wonders how many others there are like this. So notes, Wanda Ventham's role, that's the goldfish's mother.
Yes. Colonel Virginia Lake.
Virginia Lake simply appeared as second in command in the shooting scripts for this in the previous episode, The Cat with 10 Lives. Sarah Bosanquet,
Bosanquet.
Bosanquet was originally written. Plus, my eyes.
You're gonna go to bed tonight.
Bosanquet.
You're gonna be brushing your teeth, getting ready for bed. You're gonna climb into bed with your wife, and you're gonna be like, Bosanquet.
Why did the French spell the silent T? It was originally written as Virginia Bosanquet, but the character's name was changed when the producers decided to reintroduce the character of Virginia Lake. Oh, interesting. Thank God it wasn't her name, because I'd never be able to say it for the rest of the show. They changed her name to Virginia Lake. It was originally intended that the UFO interception mentioned by Foster on the golf course would be seen on screen. Oh. The role of the unnamed Skydiver captain was originally written as Captain Waterman. The footage of Admiral Sheringham's Rolls-Royce being escorted to Shadow HQ is lifted from Identified. Yeah, it did look familiar. Well, the footage of the arrival at the studio is from Conflict. And, it shows reused footage to save money. Part of the episode incidental score was originally composed by Barry Gray for Stingray, another Anderson show. Virginia's Lakes futuristic binoculars were previously used by Foster in The Sound of Silence. They're later used by Lieutenant Barry in Mindbender, and then later in Star Wars by Luke Skywalker. No, I'm just kidding, not by Luke Skywalker. The prop was subsequently revamped to appear in Space 1999. In The Last Sunset and The Last Enemy. The distinctive light fittings in Sarah Bosanquet's apartment are moon pendant lamps designed by Vernier Pantone in 1960. Yeah, those were very cool cool lamps. I did notice those. The lamps can also be seen in various other apartment and restaurant sets throughout the series. So the cute redhead Stephanie Beacham,
I
Sarah.
loved that apartment.
Yeah, it was very cool.
I would
let's
totally
see.
live there. Did you
She
just
was
see
in
what
this-
Smilex called Benedict Cumberbatch?
I can't see this.
Bumbleflap
I got my glasses off
Cumberpatch.
so I can read. I can't see the chat. It's too far
Mark,
away.
Mark,
Cumberbatch.
Bumberflap Cumberpatch. Anyway, keep going, bud. Sorry.
Fiona,
I
it's not
forget
me. I like Cumberbatch, even though as a person he's a weed whacker, but I like him as Doctor Strange and as Sherlock.
It is good, yeah.
So-
Raquel just doesn't think he's very
She
handsome.
doesn't like
but
him. She doesn't think much of him.
What
Well,
am
I
I to
think
say?
the thing is
Who am I
if
to
you're
judge?
super rich and you shoot your mouth off and you
Oh, I
punch
agree with that.
down, I will go after you and I will be merciless. But if you're just like a regular person or you're a famous person and you're kind and you don't punch down, I will never say a horrible word about you, even if you do look like Blinky from The Simpsons.
So
Wow.
anyway, the very good-looking redhead, in my opinion,
Oh, she's fantastic.
appeared
I've seen her in a lot of stuff.
in her success in America led to starring roles in Sister Kate and
Star Trek:
Sequest
The Next
DSV,
Mm-hmm.
as well as guest appearances in Star Trek: The Next Generation and Beverly
Stephanie
Hills
Beacham
90210.
is absolutely heart-stoppingly beautiful. And
very cute,
there's
yeah.
nothing fake
Mine
about her.
stopped. Mine stopped a few times.
Yeah, that's her real hair. Those are her real nails. She's a beautiful redhead, beautiful skin, just beautiful eyes, wonderful body, just a very beautiful natural girl with lots of
I
hairspray.
love her.
Edmund Richfield, Admiral Sheringham. He was in Quartermass 2, Quartermass in the Pit,
Quater.
Doctor Who, the Sea Quater. Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, it's
I
Quater.
can't pronounce anything. Can't pronounce anything tonight.
I'm sorry.
The Sea Devils and Twin
Yeah.
Dilemma. He was also in 1959 Ben Hur, Sword of Sherwood Forest, The Face of Fu Manchu.
Quater, Bosun K.
Yeah, I have nightmares tonight. My pronunciation. Captain Stephen, played by Philip Maddock. He was okay. Well, he appeared as Rutland in A Question of Priorities. Let's see. I'm skimming. Let's see. He was in Doctor
Yeah,
Who,
he's been in
the
Doctor Who a
Crotons and the
couple
War
times.
Games. He was in The Last of the Mohegans. I'm just trying to pick up anything that people would recognize. Also, Doctor Who, The Brain of Morbius and The Power of Kroll.
Yep. Brandon Moore. He played,
David-
Dr. Solon. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yep. David Warbeck makes the first of 2 appearances in the series as Skydiver Captain. Let's see. What was he in? Anything that anyone would recognize?
But Philip Maddock was also in another episode of UFO, though.
Yeah, I think that he was in Question of Priorities, right?
Question of Priorities.
And Doppelganger.
Yeah.
Dr. Protein. That's a movie. Yep.
Doppelganger. That's right.
Yep.
That's where I've seen her before. Larry. Oh yeah, and Larry. Don't ever forget. Well, you already know this.
That's True Dynasty.
But I should remind you that he does go to Hendo, and he's like, "I need more money," and Hendo's like, "Absolutely not." They get into that knockdown, drag out fight where I thought they were going to beat the crap out of each other. So yeah, 3 interceptors it is. But he does ask for another Sid, and he does ask for another. He does ask for more interceptors, and yeah, he gets shot down in flames.
Yep. Let's see. Peter Blythe's Second Officer Cooper is later seen in UFO is Lieutenant Blythe in the Psycho Bombs. He's better known for, let's see, what was he? No, anything big here? We know. Oh, he's in the Avengers. That's something people remember.
The old series,
here's the
not the movies.
The old series. Thank you. Yeah. Oops. Captain Stephen looks through standard binoculars with round eyepieces, but the image he sees appear as if through futuristic binoculars used by Colonel Lake. Well, they put the wrong screen over, I guess. Yeah. The aliens' plan doesn't seem to make sense. What uses a lifeless planet to erase that requires transplantable organs and living host bodies?
True.
Interesting point there. Yeah. Major equipment: Shadow Car, Shadow Jeep, Sid, Skydiver 1, Space Interceptors, UFOs. And it premiered for UK transmission premiere 8 p.m. Wednesday night, December 2nd, 1970. Where were you? So
I was at home.
you were home. I was probably home. I don't know. I guess I was home because I was 2 years old. So you know,
Well,
I don't know. Unless they're
You're out
visiting.
prowling around, stray
yeah,
cat.
I was 6. So,
I was telling Mom to put UFO on the TV. Yeah,
yeah.
please. Yeah.
Just toddlering around, being a toddler, biting
Yep.
people. I bet you went up and down your neighborhood
Toddling
biting
around.
people.
That's right. That's right.
Turn on Star Trek after UFO. Of course, Star Trek's off the air there in 1970. That was just a joke, people. I know. But yeah, so I guess I've been talking a lot, so you guys talk, but I did like this episode as per usual. Good episode of
Go for it.
UFO, although that transplant, that's true, wiping out the whole planet. Yeah,
That's
what good is that gonna?
yeah, that's in my notes. I've never liked that about this episode. Why would you wipe out your body and organ supply?
Good point. Go for your notes, number 1. Go for it.
Although, like, I guess you don't have to be alive, right? I think all they need are your parts, but it does raise interesting questions, right? So here are my notes. They're odd notes. I took notes in a very strange way this week. I don't know why. I'm telling you, it was the Popeyes and wine. Never have red wine with Popeyes. I love Popeyes.
No, I want Popeyes.
Popeyes is so good, especially the mashed potatoes and gravy. So good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And the mac and cheese. Oh.
Mm.
We start on a Royal Navy destroyer. Everyone in the audience already knows that this makes my heart go pitter-patter. I like military stuff. I didn't realize this until just this year when I started hanging around with Clobby and Mark, because they're geeks. I don't think about this kind of stuff. I don't memorize TV shows or films. I don't memorize dialogue. The only time I like really try to commit things to my memory is books. And as we've been exploring all of this geek stuff, I realized all the geek stuff I like involves military. I don't know why. Well, not all of it, but like most of it. Anyway, so I love that we're on a Navy destroyer. Unaware of what it is, the ship goes into action stations. I love watching this, and I love it. I love watching it open fire on a UFO, and I love watching it get hit and drop into the ocean. I just like this aspect of it. For me, this is sci-fi, and I love sci-fi. It's just lots of fun. Then, of course, we see Henderson, or of course I call him Hendo, tells Straker he'll deal with the media. I've always loved this line and this conversation because it shows just how much power Henderson has in shaping what the media think and what the media say, and you know, dismissing it as sort of like an inquirer type of media coverage. So I like that because, of course, many people believe that in the 1970s. There were a lot of people who read those supermarket rags who really thought that, you know, they were covering up the fact that we had already made first contact. You know, you think about Area 51, and you think about everyone having those dreams of you know, of something being out there. And I really hope there is. General Hendy and Colonel Straker break bread. I also love this. These are two men who don't like one another whatsoever. Hendy can be a pain in the keister, and Straker's always right. So he's seen as a know-it-all when really he's just trying to save the world. He's just, you know, that INTJ personality. But I love that they sit down and break bread. I love that he made sure that there was breakfast there for the pair of them, and that they could sit down like professional colleagues and have breakfast together and discuss the issues. I love this. I love this writing. Paul Foster acts like a douche while golfing with Straker. I mean, is anybody surprised? Paul Foster is a douche.
Did he?
Do you see his whiny little sucky baby face while he's golfing? I'm not good. Anyway, Straker is convinced it's all a ruse. I love that he's always 3 or 4 moves ahead in his chess game. He knows this isn't an alien plot. He just has to sort of figure out how this is working and what they're up to, and how they're trying to plant a craft in the bottom of the ocean, or what else is going on. But he knows that this is all too convenient, and the behavior is not in keeping with this brilliant extraterrestrial life form. And he knows that the Navy's hiding something. I love that. Colonel Lake has fully replaced Freeman. I wrote in my notes, my Freeman. You know, I don't care how gorgeous Lake is. I miss my Freeman. She's looking for what's in the deep, UFO or otherwise. I love that Straker sent her here to do this, and she's busting BALLS to make sure that it gets done the Straker way. I do like that, but those are lines meant for my Freeman. Notice my Freeman. I love that Paul's connection to Admiral Sheringham is the Admiral's secretary. It's just, you know, douchebag Paul. Anyway, Straker is busting BALLS and the Admiral's BALLS. And I love how clever they write Straker. I love his banter. I just think he's wonderful. I love the new Asian Moon Girl. I think that she's gorgeous. And I love all of these marvelous spy elements. Ms. Bosanquet is taken over by the aliens. And what I love about this part is we don't know if she's mind controlled or if she's being extorted in some fashion. But it doesn't matter because we know she's going to get wiped later.
When she was walking around the room, that was like mind control, I thought, right? Is that what you're saying?
But she has a recollection of it, so we know that something's going on there. They're communicating, but she is going along with it.
She goes along with it, I guess.
That's right. And I like these complex ideas. Nature of her relationship.
She wants to save her dad.
Yeah, exactly. And so you're not just, oh, she's being controlled, that poor girl. You're just like, what's going on with that? Anyway, she violently attacks the interceptor pilot holding position on the coordinates. And I love the fact that he has a violent seizure, but he doesn't die.
Yep, the bad guy from Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, really?
That's him.
Geek. You are king of the geeks, baby. And I love that her telescope is also a laser. Colonel Lake pushes the skydiver crew to its limits, but she is correct, even with some kind of scary hull buckling. I love that Paul has no strategic input. Douchebag Paul. He's asked for input. He's like, I don't know. I just work here.
Wow.
Anyway.
Ouch.
I swear when Sky One goes up, I do like the most melodramatic and ridiculous fist pump. Like last night I was watching this in bed. Of course I have TVs all over my house except for in my lounge and where I receive people. I don't put TVs there, but I have TVs everywhere else. And last night I was watching in the bedroom, and when I watched when Skydiver 1 comes out of the ocean, I literally yelled multiple F-bombs and like did my best data. Yes.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful. It makes your heart soar. And Hendo is worried about Bosanquet. But of course,
rub it in a little.
No, I love that her name is so. I just love that her name is so pretentious. It has nothing to do with you. Okay. But Straker always three steps ahead of everyone, and you could tell by Hendo's face that he knows that Straker will outbrain him every time. He's wondering how many Bosanquets there are in the world. How many Bosanquets have been turned by the aliens, and how many people are being exploited for their abducted family members with the hopes of their family members being returned to them. So my only gripe with this episode is like exactly what was in the notes. I think we probably should have unpacked a little bit better why they were willing to wipe everyone out. I think even just one little tiny line about how they'd wipe everyone out with this gas, their bodies wouldn't be destroyed in any fashion that would inhibit their organ donation or their full body as a vessel. Just one line like that, and I think that would have made it all tidy. But other than that, this is a perfect mix of spy and sci. I call this sci-spy, and it's like, you guys have absolutely no idea how much this tickles my fancy. Like, I just think that this stuff is so sexy and delicious. I just love watching it. I don't care about the double entendre of what I just stated, because I mean it. This episode is worthy of being a film, and it could have been made perfect, and I mean perfect, if it were made into a film. And that just shows you how talented the Andersons are. This would have been a marvelous James Bond film. I mean, of course, I'd miss my Straker, but I love the whole idea of this. But you know, like I said, that one thing I didn't like. Give me one line where you say that the gas wouldn't affect the organ donation, the organ harvesting, or the use of the human beings as vessels, because that would be like the Lord of the Rings, one ring to rule them all moment. And I think it would kind of been more powerful, right?
I think I would put this to you for that real quick, is that if they do, first of all, that will be more information than we've gotten for the aliens on the whole series. We know nothing from their side of it. So anything the humans would say about that would be pure speculation. And the aliens are not going to communicate anything like that to us, the audience, because they haven't yet. So you're just supposed to wonder.
Yeah, but I would have liked, I agree with what you're saying, but I would have liked like maybe Dr. Jackson to speculate on something like that, because, you know, he's done all the autopsies and he's got that speculation going or whatever. I just would have liked like a little meeting in Straker's shadow room where they would have said, but why would they want to take out all life? Why would they want to release this toxic nerve gas? What does that mean for the organ harvesting? And, you know, to have a marvelous, you know, James Bond worthy Jackson twirl his invisible mustache and say, maybe it is because the gas will not affect their ability to harvest our organs. Or
that's the only conclusion to make.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, or they get them all at once. You know, they could harvest this all at once and freeze dry it or store it.
That's where I would have taken it. Yeah, the whole one ring to rule them all. Get all the bodies at once.
I guess by not saying it, they're saying it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it can be seen as a flaw, but I mean, I don't really see it as a super flaw. I just think that that little thing that these people treat their audience like extremely intelligent adults. So I think that there has to be room for the audience to have those moments. If everything's played out so dramatically and you put such a fine point on everything and everything's right on the nose, I think it removes the magic of this show. And I think this show is very cerebral. I like how I just put very in front of cerebral. I need to shin kick myself. But it's cerebral. It's beautiful. It's delicious. It's sexy. It's everything I want. And I can't believe this is a TV show. This is the one episode that I think could have been a film. Independent of UFO, this could have been shaped into like an awesome James Bond film.
Let's say some hellos. Brian Hepburn, welcome. Yay! Good to see you, my friend. And call him Scuba Pete.
And Leslie, if you're out there, baby.
Yeah.
If we're up on the TV and you hear us, Leslie, we're sending our love to you too, sweetheart. Mwah, mwah.
Yeah.
So you want to rank it? You want to rate it?
Yeah, because I believe that this is basically the perfect sci-fi. I gave it an A plus, because I just like the way everything comes together. I like the footage from the real ship. I like being on a destroyer. You guys know I like this Navy stuff. You guys know I like seeing the Omniceptor in the sky. You guys know I love seeing the interceptors, and I love all the aspects of it. Here, this is practical effects mixed with a real life footage. We got that military aspect. We got the spy aspect of it. We got the cloak and dagger stuff going on. And then we've got this beautiful sci-fi. We have sexy women. This is a good time. This is how you should spend your TV time. Do you have time for TV? Then you should spend all that time right here.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I think this beautiful episode is one of my favorite of all of them so far. Of course, I've watched them all once through. I can't wait to watch the rest of them. And I'm going to go A plus. And I don't mind them leaving that thing up in the air that you're talking about, because
me too.
Like someone just mentioned in the chat, because someone said, but weren't they non-corporeal life forms? That was a hypothesis.
Yes, by Dr. Jackson.
From Dr. Jackson. So we really don't know, and they've told us zero on this show. As far as what the only things we've learned from the aliens themselves is there seems to be one or two of them that is not necessarily in lockstep with the overall goal that doesn't seem to be, that seems to be maybe against what the most of them are doing.
Yep.
We don't even know that for sure. We don't know exactly, but
Yeah.
but remember, there have been episodes where there's an episode called Kill Straker. Well, how would aliens know how to infiltrate unless they know who he is? So we know that they know a lot. The aliens know, and we don't know what they know because the show very, very cagily doesn't tell you. So I think they leave stuff up in the air sometimes. I think that they wouldn't have. We know they're smart, so I don't think they would have done this if there was any danger to them.
And not only
themselves.
that, like it's important, like Clobby's always reminding everyone when it comes to UFO that they needed more. And when they went to the audience and asked the audience what they thought of this show, they got overwhelming response from everyone who watched it that the Moon Girls were unbelievably intriguing, beautiful to look at. And so they moved it in that direction. And then all of a sudden we wound up with the silly but wonderful fun that is season 1 of Space 1999. But, you know, it's always important to predicate these little rabbit holes we go down on the fact that we needed a lot more here. We needed a lot more episodes. We needed a lot more seasons. You know, imagine if they had the same amount as let's say TNG. Imagine if UFO had 178 episodes and 4 movies. I mean, it's incredible. And I you know, Clubby and I, we've talked, and Mark and I have talked you know, backstage about the fact that it would have been so great to explore that in multiple seasons. We don't get that. It's kind of sad.
Indeed. Is hey, Kay, what's up, buddy? I know it says he's just popped in. Good to see you, friend.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hey,
Did you see what he put? Honey, I'm home.
Hey,
Love you,
when
hon.
we got home. When we got home. So, Mark, did you give it a rating yet, or what you rating?
Yeah, well, just you know, I really like this episode as well, and I guess you can overlook you know, what you know, that maybe not a flaw, but a plot point. But there's always some great tension in there. Or why don't you read Eric K's super chat, and then I'll continue.
Clobby dressed up like Ken today and saw Barbie. Do not tell anyone. It is a secret. Well, I looked pretty good. I looked good though. You would say you're just jealous you didn't look as good as me as Ken. In fact, did I make fun of you in your bronze surfer Barbie outfit?
Oh, those fighting words.
Yeah.
Look at this beautiful
Thank you,
comment
buddy.
from
Thank
Scuba Pete
you for that, bud.
Oh, I wish there had been
John
multiple
Rupus. Oh, sorry.
season or multiple seasons. Such a complex show that deserved more time to explore.
yeah.
Oh, you have no idea how much the three of us agree with you, Scuba Pete.
Oh God.
And I hope you and Leslie have collected all of the goodies from this show because, oh, I wish I could have them all. I mean, I would collect UFO like I would collect TOS. It's just so beautiful.
John Rupus, Reggie. Good to see you there, buddy. So, yeah, great episode. And I'm getting sad. We're getting toward the end again.
Getting close. Yep. But yeah, of course, the special effects are always great in this. Yeah, Foster does not have a lot to do. I'll agree. Although I don't quite. You got to play golf. I don't quite comprehend Raquel's
What do you mean? He
of
got
Foster.
the chick. Without him, they wouldn't have busted anything wide open. He had to use his his manly charms.
Masculine wiles. That's
they
true.
use
That's
his
true.
secret. That's a Bond film. That Bond
Secret
uses,
Agent Man.
Right.
Yes!
Bond uses his masculine charms to get information. It's part of the job.
Good point.
But it is part of the job. So he was the James Bond of this episode.
He had to
Foster,
suffer.
do you have any ideas? No, boss, I don't have any ideas. Do you have any ideas?
Poor guy had to suffer, right? With that horrible redhead. That
Poor
was
old, that's a tough job he had.
I saw that lunchbox, Scuba Pete. Oh my God!
Oh, you saw the lunchbox that Scuba Pete had? Oh my goodness.
That was gorgeous, yeah.
Gorgeous.
Good thing Raquel's pretty far away, otherwise there might be a home invasion.
Yeah,
Where's the lunch?
Can I come over for dinner?
Yeah.
Or for lunch.
I'll take
Or for
that.
lunch, yeah.
Yeah, can I sleep over? I need lunch for work tomorrow. Hey,
Yeah.
pack it in this.
Yes, sir.
You-
Yes, sir.
Would you use that lunchbox if you had it, Raquel, or you just
Are
put
you
it?
kidding? I wouldn't let you touch it unless you were wearing gloves.
Turing
Don't
Machine.
even look at it.
Turing Machine. No, what happened was it only lasted 26 episodes, and it didn't quite do as well as they would have liked. But elements of it were very popular. Like the episodes that have a lot of action around the moon base and stuff. So eventually, not too long after this, Jerry Anderson reworked a lot of what was going on, and he changed. They got a chance to do another show that, of course, wasn't the same show, but had a lot of the similar elements, except of course it was known as Space 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I'm sure you're very familiar with. So we lost, in a sense, we probably lost UFO, not entirely because of Space 1999, but it was a missed opportunity, unfortunately. So he took another crack at it. He went another way, and that lasted 2 seasons, and just not the same. A lot of people like it. It's an okay show. A lot of people like it more than I do, but I think it's all right. But I would have taken 2 or 3, 4 seasons of UFO any day.
Yeah, I would have liked. So to answer the question, no, it wasn't successfully completed, and the boss is always complaining about that, and I agree with him. I think it deserved multiple seasons. I like Space 1999, but come on, you turning the moon into a space vessel, spacefaring vessel,
nuts.
And
Nuts.
and even if you set that aside, and let's say that you're thinking like wacky 1970s, really out there sci fantasy. I really enjoyed Space 1999's first season, but the Maya season, like when you try
season 2.
when you try to rewatch the Maya season, it doesn't go over like it. I don't know. It just doesn't feel as good. Like you can watch it through the first time, the Maya season, the first time, you're like, okay, that's tolerable. But try watching it a second time or a third time. You're like, oh, why did they do this? Can I have Straker back?
And to answer your question, the follow-up question, was it wrapped up at least with a proper conclusion? Sadly, unlike most television back then, no. When you got canceled, you were never given like some notice where you might be able to, have time to at least put a cap on your story.
Mm-hmm.
And like all television, it was always just canceled. Usually they didn't know they were coming back. A lot of TV shows were like that.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, no, we'll never, ever. It's just very frustrating. And, I'm sure that Jerry Anderson would have liked to have had the chance.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
When did that start happening with the shows getting like I remember MASH as a kid. No, sorry, they get like a finale or something. I wonder what the first one was.
Well, you had to be a biggie.
What a great deep question.
Well, I think The Fugitive was probably the first one. The Fugitive, of course, one of the most famous shows of the 60s with David Jansen. It was The Fugitive. The last episode of The Fugitive was until the last episode of MASH was the highest rated TV show in the world ever. And because everyone was looking for it, they built it up really big. They decided this show's gone for 4 years. He's running all over the place. How much more can he run? So they actually put a finite cap on it after the end of the fourth season, and it was huge. But after the prison,
and that had a good ending too,
right? Yeah. But then, of course, The Prisoner, which wasn't really an American show, but that has an ending. If you take those two away, I'm trying to think of other shows that had a definite ending. That Patrick McGowan had to fight for that. He didn't want to make it a series. He wanted to have a cap on it. In fact, he wanted less episodes. So after that, I would say if you're going to do American shows, because maybe some British shows had endings. There are other ones I would have to think about them, so our British friends might better tell us. But as far as American television is concerned, I think after The Fugitive, shows with a cap or an ending on it, obviously there was MASH, and then Barney Miller, and a couple of shows started. Was it Newhart had one? Remember that?
Yeah.
Did Mary Tyler Moore have one? Some of the shows that were really big enough, and the shows had gone on a while, and the producers of the shows decided, look, we're going to end this now, so we're going to make a proper ending. That happened once in a while on television, but that started mostly as a trend. I want to say early 80s and into the 80s a little bit. you know.
Interesting.
For the most part, you got canned. You found out, oh crap, we're all done. Hey, Bonanza lasted 14 years.
14 years.
It lasted 14
14
years.
years.
And the last episode of Bonanza is so terrible because they weren't told they were canceled. And they made this episode. If you've seen one of the most bizarre things you're ever going to see on television is the last episode of Bonanza. It's almost like a Most Dangerous Game ripoff where Tom Skerritt chases Little Joe across the desert, and it's almost like very little dialogue. It's like really weird and artsy-fartsy episode, a psychodrama where he's a former soldier from the Civil War chasing him, and it was weird. And they thought, man, we thought we'd do something interesting with this, but good Lord, we didn't know it was going to be our last episode. What a terrible way to end this show that's been around for 14 years. What's her name? Lauren Green hated the ending, and even Michael Landon was like, this is no way to end anything.
Yeah.
You should see that episode. It's weird as hell.
Yeah.
Did they
And
do a movie
Michael
or anything
Landon was
after
a
that,
very
or-
successful writer too, right? So
Right.
he wasn't just an actor; he was a successful
Who
writer
directed this episode?
in
Yeah.
his own right. Everyone, please say hello to our good friend Sean Carter from Mars.
Sean Carter from Mars, and also
And
hello to
Scott.
Scott Knudsen. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. He says, Jerry Anderson was always a fantastic world builder, from Stingray to the Thunderbirds to Captain Scarlet to this. It was always fully realized. Few shows of the time could compete outside of Trek. Very true.
What a great comment.
Very true. Very well said, my friend. Yes, he is. Jerry Anderson was excellent. It really was. And we can take this off now, I guess, right?
Yeah. Or just minimize it. Yep.
So yeah, a lot of shows didn't get to end, didn't have the luxury of ending. So
Yeah. And it's a shame because then just makes you, the more you revisit UFO, the more you want to know the end, what happened to everyone. And it's like meeting a friend before the internet and losing track of them and then saying, I wonder whatever happened to that old friend. UFO will always be that old friend that I wish, those possible worlds or that possible world sees itself play out in the best way possible. Use your imagination, right? Possible world.
Science Officer Princess reporting for duty. Nice. I can't see it. It's not a real big picture, but it looks pretty cool from what I can see there, Fiona. Beautiful. Thank you. Take your station. Good. Thank you. That's very cool. Let's see here. Blake 7, and of course, again, that's a British show, Max. But yes, he says best ending. Yeah, in my opinion, probably. Well, for me, Fallout from The Prisoner is my favorite ending of all time. But Blake 7's probably a dead tie for it. So maybe they're both those two are my favorites. And because they really disturb people, and a lot of people don't like those endings, either one of those endings, especially the Prisoner one. But I love them both.
He had to hide, right? He had to go into hiding.
Yeah, like
Patrick
they
McGowan
sent
got
him
in
like
trouble.
death threats and terrible things.
Ooh, Patrick McGowan got some serious static over it. Yeah. He had to go get his kids out of school early that day, and he said
People were mad.
The ITV
I hope he drove
were
the Lotus to get him out of school, but
yeah. He said the ITV switchboards were going crazy, with threats and all this other kind of stuff.
Yep.
Crazy. Oh, dear.
Yeah, I
oh,
learned
dear.
that from you when we talked about The Prisoner, when you introduced it to me when we were doing the Global Geek Gang.
Yeah.
And
that's right. It's
and
nuts.
I looked it up, and I did quite a bit of reading on it after you said that, especially because I loved The Prisoner.
Oh, good.
And I couldn't believe. Oh, Lisa! Lisa's
Hey,
here.
Hi, Lisa.
Good to see you.
Hey,
Lisa.
sweetness.
We should review The Prisoner soon if you want.
Yeah, we should.
After
But
this,
I
maybe.
was blown away by how the public lost their minds. Like they were really mad at him.
So, yep. So you think it was probably The Fugitive then? I mean, I'm not saying it was, but it probably the first show to get a proper finale. Yeah, could be. It was. What's weird about that show? And actually, me, and how much I hate remakes, but I actually really did like the Harrison Ford movie, the prison of the Fugitive. I thought it was a really good film.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, it
And,
was good, yeah.
because again, it was because at that, I just don't like a million remakes. Once in a while of a show, if you do something one line off like that, okay. And it wasn't trying to do the whole series; they just did like one movie off of it, so not so bad. But the TV series, it opened up with him like already on the run. Doesn't even explain. It took like over the course of time to explain what was going on. He doesn't even. They didn't do like a pilot where it shows what happens to him or anything like that, and which is a little bit different. So, but anyway, like I said, then it was MASH. By the way, by the time they did the last season episode of MASH, I'd stopped watching it.
I remember we MASH. We met for Scouts on Monday night. The Scoutmaster brought a black and white TV, back in the antenna days, and plopped it down, and we watched the MASH finale for a Scout meeting. So that's how big that was. I mean, everyone. I just remember everyone watching that. It was just
the show kind of died for me when Henry left. Although it was still sort of funny until when Frank Burns left, it really lost its funniest character for me. I mean, it was still good. It's just it became the Alan Alda show.
Yeah,
where he's running around, and they had this movie lasted like 15 times longer than the war did.
Yeah,
this TV show, they look like all these Christmas episodes. They had the war didn't last anywhere near that long. I don't know.
They had their spinoffs, that MASH in Maine, right? I mean, but yeah, it became a cultural phenomenon. MASH. I mean, just massive show. So and of course back then with just the 3 networks, I mean, you really didn't have a choice, right? So what was everyone doing that night, right? I mean, I bet you watched it too, probably, even though you probably didn't like the show that much.
I think I did, but I don't. Like I said, Michael Bingham says, MASH finale, I hated it. Basically, it was let's do all the stuff that we couldn't do earlier just because of the end. Yeah, I think I probably watched it, but I was so checked out of the show at that point. I probably, in fact, I have this big when they put out the box sets from per season. I still have those, and I just bought the first 3 seasons. I didn't really buy any of the ones after it because that show, and they got a feature on there where you can get rid of the canned laughter. You can watch it without that.
Yep.
But anyway, and my son,
that's a big controversy. Yeah, we should mention the director didn't want the canned laughter on the show.
He didn't want it. My son was very young at the time, and he used to watch it over and over again. He loved MASH, and he would watch it without that laughter on there. But I mean, that show was so unbelievably funny in the first 3 seasons.
You know what's amazing too?
You know why? Because it was a damn comedy. And I even love the movie, which is different from the show. But the movie's still great. Go ahead.
Hulu was broadcasting it, and they actually have an HD version of MASH. And since you love those first 3 seasons, you can actually they converted the film, and it's widescreen. They have a widescreen version of MASH, I guess, because of the way it was filmed. And I've been watching it. I don't watch it all the time, but God, it looks good. I mean, of course, a comedy like MASH, it doesn't have to be, it's not like Star Trek or a space show or, a war movie where, you want to see it in HD, but darn, it looks a heck of a lot better in HD. So check it out. Last time I looked, it was on Hulu, and you probably can buy it that way. It was a new version. Or maybe they did it just for Hulu, I think, too, as like a promo, like widescreen MASH. So it was interesting. Cool. It wasn't, cropped, panned, and scanned like they did with Buffy and some other shows. So,
well, you're not alone, Fiona. By the way, but I hear you. You want to hear the greatest, probably the greatest late night lineup ever as far as TV shows was in the late 70s into the early 80s for us, into the early 80s for a few years. They would, right after the news, they would show MASH. Then they would show Rockford Files, and they would show Star Trek for years. Like, dude, man, it doesn't get much better than that. I mean, classic, the best MASH episodes. You get MASH, Rockford. I just set the recorder, just record them. I just somebody use a different tape for Star Trek, of course. But then one, just every night on weeknights. How do you beat that? I mean, that's pretty damn good, I think.
I got to watch Star Trek every midnight, Channel 11 WPIX.
That's when we got it too, midnight.
Yep, yeah, midnight. Every night you watch Star Trek. Yeah. So, and you were stuck with Alternative Factor, and then you got Doomsday. It didn't matter, but that was kind of the beauty of it, because you got you never know what you were going to get, and you just watched what was available. So,
Fiona, I liked Harry O, but nothing touches Rockford Files for me personally. Harry O was okay though, but he was. David Jansen was kind of a just sort of a he wasn't a very, relatable guy. Do you think? How do you put it? He was a good dude. I don't know. I'm a Rockford guy, but I understand. I mean, Harry O was cool. I liked Mannix. So what are you gonna do? Remember, like Mannix would like kill like 5 dudes would get killed before the opening credits. It was so violent. It was good. Mannix was considered too violent by some people.
Oh yeah.
You still there, number one?
Up there,
Yes.
Raquel.
Yes,
that's
I'm
making
just
sure.
trying to not talk too much because I don't want to talk over you guys because there's like
Oh, no.
a 3 or a 4 second delay and it's quite significant. And you guys
Really?
know I don't
Huh.
like talking over you.
We hear you. We're hearing
Okay.
you fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're hearing a delay when you hear us.
Yeah.
I'm time traveling.
Really?
Sorry.
And I'm also not
That's
getting
weird.
any of the audio or video you play.
That's
Oh.
weird. Did you
hmm
dip out and dip back in and see if it fixes it or no?
Yeah, I think I'll do that. May I please
that.
be
Please
excused?
do.
I'll see you in a
Of
second.
course.
You
Come
have a
right
hall
back.
pass.
But yeah, I'm like difficult to work with. No, I don't think he was. I think Harry O was just a kind of a no nonsense kind of guy. Whereas on something about Rockford, I mean, Rockford was just, I don't know, something so cool about him. Rockford was the coolest, I thought. But I liked Harry O. I watched it. Now that had my boy, was it Anthony Zerbe? He was on Harry O, right? Yeah. She'll beam right back in, folks. I assure you, she'll
Yep.
be fine.
We're
She
gonna
just-
get a pattern
she's
buffer
rebooting.
locked in.
Yes. Beretta, Barnaby Jones, Streets of San Francisco, Ironside, Cannon, all those. Yeah. You were naming a couple of those. Quinn Martin production, Barnaby Jones, and Cannon. That was another one. There you go.
Yep.
Let yourself in.
Oh, but she can't. Can she?
She can't.
Or maybe she can. I don't want to click because as soon as
I'm
I
gonna let
click,
you in.
I'll kick her.
Oh, she did it. I wasn't sure. You took. Okay.
Oh, Catwoman's here. Watch out, Batman.
Best load ever.
But now, you hear us now?
I don't know. I'll know in a minute.
You don't hear me,
Play Turbines to Speed.
Matthew Pounder. I mean, can you hear me
Hey,
talking?
Matthew
now?
Pounder!
Can you hear me talking though?
Yes, I can.
Okay, here, let's play some. I'll play a video. What should I play?
Rom.
No, your agonizer, please.
Oh, we got one for Maddie said. How about this one? Did you see that? Number one.
Uh-oh.
Hi. No, I
Did
didn't
you
see
see it?
any of that, and my
Oh my
microphone was turned on to mute, so I couldn't respond while you were calling
Oh,
me. Sorry.
Well, how about this?
Get those nerds! Nerd! Nerds! What?
See that one? Weird.
The nerds.
Still massive delay, hey? Like,
But you hear
I
us
can
talk,
see the
though.
little blue thing on the bottom, so I know you're
Weird.
playing something, and I can hear you and Mark talking. But my microphone, it goes to mute, and it will not come off of mute, and by
Well,
like at least 3 or 4 second delay.
but okay, we'll say. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah,
Well, that's all that really matters because we're hearing you immediately now.
good.
We've not stopped hearing you immediately. But
Okay,
does
good.
it take a while for you to hear? And you're hearing us immediately too.
Sometimes.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll wing it. Maybe because that happened to me one night. Remember?
Yeah, and it's happening to me, and it's really weird because you don't want to
It
talk
sucks.
over people, you know.
I understand.
that's-
Well, don't worry about that.
That's something that you and Mark and I are really good at because we're friends in real life. It's not like a typical panel where people talk over each other. With like the three of us, we have like a pretty cool groove, and it's kind of magical. So I don't want to yuck it up.
No, don't you worry about that. This is the clubhouse. It's for us to hang out and have fun. So,
Yep.
in fact, I want to go get some. I got to take some medicine. So you two talk
Oh.
over each other if you want to, and I'll be right back.
Go
Well, I
get your
can
med
show while you're doing that. I've got a latest news.
Help the
news
helm,
from-
either one of you.
I got you. I
Yep.
got you, boss.
I've got the latest news from Fanderson, so an email that I've got, so I could show that, and then everyone can, if you want, subscribe to this. So let me see if I zoom in. So this is and big end. Let me go up here. So let me present my screen, and hopefully, Raquel, you can see this at least. Let's see. So I know this is something you might like. So you can subscribe to Fanderson, and I'll just make it full screen so it's easier to see. So here's the latest UFO news, excuse me. So premiering right now, this is on YouTube. Ed Bishop was very attached to his role in UFO as Commander Straker, and as such, he had many thoughts on the series as a whole, and how it was only towards the end that the concept really worked. Well, I think if you watch it, you probably disagree a little bit with that summary, but this is Fanderson coming out with this. So UFO, where did it go wrong? And some of it is talking about, why, how they didn't get a second season. So I'll post those links that are referenced.
They
in the
didn't get a
email to
second
the chat.
season, and I think he's overthinking it. But
Yeah.
Ed Bishop needs to realize that they didn't get a second season because they made a nerd show, and real nerd shows don't make it. The only way to make it in Hollywood is to appeal to normies. And if you look at TOS and you look at UFO, you see two of the finest examples of what can be produced in America and put on television. I mean, just outstanding, beautiful storytelling, but it is 100% made for nerds.
Yep.
And Gene Roddenberry knew that what he was doing was cerebral. He knew it was esoteric. He knew that it would only attract nerds. That was the whole idea. I mean, you don't want to appeal to the normies anyways. Normies are overrated.
So let me find in the link to this. So this YouTube article. Let me see. And I have it. I'll click. I don't want to click on anything in this email just because I'm not sure it'll take me. But oh yeah, here it is. Yep. So this is from 5 days ago. It's from the Jerry Anderson YouTube channel, which everyone should sub to. Very, very cool. So let me copy this link over to the regular chat so everyone can go watch this later. Please don't watch it now. Just kidding. It's more not where it went wrong, but just mistakes maybe they were made or different things that he thought.
Yeah, I totally disagreed with him. I watched this when you sent it to me, and number one, I got to say thanks, man. But number two, it's just like, wow, he's like totally overthinking it, and he's willing to like poop talk himself and poop talk what he did, but I don't think he realizes just how incredible this show was. But like many science fiction people before him, I just don't think he realizes that normies, they're a massive audience, but science fiction fans, we're not that big of an audience. We're really not. We have the smallest share of books, and fewer of our projects are making it to celluloid. Now, if you want to see a film, it's some reboot that a corporation bought, and now it's not storytelling, it's product, it's corporate product. So I just think he fails to realize how beautiful UFO is. But you also have to realize too, like, you have to be honest with yourself. What is your audience? If I wanted to be a multimillionaire, I would be writing like a young adult right now. If I didn't want to be famous, but I wanted to make lots of money, I'd be writing romance novels, or I'd write spy novels, or those, whodunit murder novels. Those sell like hotcakes. Kids love, and young kids absolutely love those fantasy, witchcraft, science fantasy stuff where, there's werewolves and vampires and all that stuff. And, that really appeals to young people. But if you sit down and you start to write science fiction, it's going to be for a small group of people. We have a very cool little psychographic, a very cool little demographic. Intellectual people with high IQs, people normally who have gone to university. They've studied STEM. They're from STEM fields. Many of them. Did you know that many of them are lawyers? So like we have a we have a very little. It's a small audience. It's mostly men. Extreme to the extreme, and it's a dedicated psychographic demographic, and it's not
Max.
huge.
Night, Max. Yep.
Good night,
Night,
Max.
Max.
Thanks, buddy. Hope you feel better. See you Saturday.
And here's a really cool
Saturday.
documentary, Jerry Anderson, A Life Uncharted, streaming on Amazon UK. This is Amazon UK. I don't know where else this is available, but I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find, Google this title, Jerry Anderson, A Life Uncharted. you'll get a chance to watch this series. So, and he, of course, the creator of UFO and Thunderbirds and all those Captain Scarlet, amazing shows. Here we go, Captain Scarlet Day, limited edition, selling out. So, of course, a lot of these things I'm assuming are easier to get across the pond from where I am.
Yeah.
But so these title card prints, look how cool these are. So they're really active, producing some really cool things for fans, which is great. So here's a graphic novel. It's Sending graphic novels arrived at HQ and ready to be sent out to all sections of Alpha. The new edition bridges the gap between the two original years of Space 1999, includes material left out of the 2013 release, and the referencing a book. The book also offers you a first ever look at the unproduced season 3 graphic novel series by Blam Ventures. So that was, a continuation of Space 1999.
Nice.
Then they have a Captain Scarlet 2023 live stream. So they have, their own YouTube channel. So you can watch that if you're a Captain Scarlet fan. And of course,
Matthew
how cool
Pounder,
is this?
that's totally true. But it's also, I think that, Ed has made a mistake there. He's trying to look for mistakes within. And I think he just failed to realize that the genre he was involving himself in doesn't really have that big that mass appeal where like normies are just going to flock to it. That's not what it is. It's very niche. Like I was saying earlier, I wish I had the statistics prepared here, but if folks only knew how the numbers of science fiction books that sell in North America, in the Western world, compared to the big like youth adult, the young adult fantasy books and stuff, I think they would be shocked. One person claimed that there was one year where fewer than 10,000 titles or 10,000 books. I don't remember, but it was such a catastrophic number that I didn't even believe it was real. I was like, who is this guy? And I had to go and look him up, and he's a part of the American Editors Association or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is true. So it's a devastatingly small audience. So if you're looking to get like millions and millions of viewers, science fiction isn't the way to do it. That's for darn tootin'.
Unfortunately, yeah. Look at this UFO Shadow Technical Operations Manual hardcover, 40 pounds. I wish I could get that here. Wow, that looks awesome. And of course, they have exclusive T-shirts are back, so you can get your Shadow T-shirt.
Oh,
I would love to have that.
Oh my god!
No, a big one, Shadow shirt.
Look how cool that is! Yeah, Shadow shirt.
I'm going to be doing a signing at a book signing as a guest at the Edmonton Expo this year. It's coming up in September. It's a big con, so I'm really excited about it. But I will be debuting my skydiver cosplay. So I have my nice, I have my nice tan jeans and my tan fishnet stuff. Well, I actually have to make the top, and I have to make it by soaking it in tea to get the right color. And I have the badge Clobby sent me, and I'm going to do my hair, do my makeup, put on the big long false eyelashes so I fit in with the girls. And I'm hoping that it's going to turn out really well. I'm really excited to cosplay the skydiver. I didn't do the girl skydiver though. I did the guy skydiver because I wanted to wear the tight, sexy pants. I didn't want to wear those, what are they called? Paper bag pants that women wear. And everyone on all the women on skydiver wear the paper bag pants with the big drawstring. I think that makes you look like you have long grandma bum, and I don't want to do that. So
you don't want a grandma bum?
I don't want long grandma bum. So I'm gonna be wearing the super, super tight jeans. And so all of the skydiver stuff that Sylvia did was actually because she went to, I think, some type of costume or surplus area, and she was like, look, I need this many of this. And she walked in and she saw all of those net shirts and jeans and stuff. And I believe she dyed them all. So you have like the taupe color, then the light browny beige, and then the one that's tinged green. And yeah, so I'm so excited. I'm gonna wear a fishnet shirt to a con.
Yeah. Nice.
No comment.
With no granny knickers. Okay, Matthew. Like Matthew Pounder called them knickers. Yeah, no granny knickers. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be wearing like the high-waisted, super painted on jeans. Just like the dudes do
Wow.
on that show. So it's gonna be fun.
All right.
That's gonna be fun.
And you can also the segue. I don't know how to segue from that to
Sorry.
download the Ander app for all things Jerry Anderson.
What?
Yeah.
There's an app? Shut the front
There's an
door.
No, that's why you got to watch the Clubhouse to learn these things. So download the Ander app for all things Jerry Anderson, and you get 20% off your first in-app order. And you can subscribe. So yeah, so it's on Google Play or App Store.
Oh, I got
So maybe you can get the T-shirt. I don't know how much it costs to ship here or to the Delta Quadrant, but
damn it, I didn't bring my phone in here. Oh,
well,
damn it.
Damn
I got it right here. Okay, I'm going to the App Store.
So see,
Oh,
Ander app. Yeah. So let's see. I want to show.
What's it called? Anderson.
Ander app.
Ander app. Okay.
Ander app. Yep.
What are you confused?
Download the Ander app.
What are you confused by, Smilex? How do we confuse you? I'm sorry.
Yeah. What did we do now?
Yeah. Said we're our fake foster parents. This is very confusing.
What? Hey, you asked us to adopt you. We said yes. Where did we go wrong? Are we awful parents? Would you like it to be emancipated from your parents?
Oh man, well, yeah, it didn't take us long to mess you up, did it?
Oh, that's terrible. Clobby, we got ourselves in trouble.
Yeah. Oh, she'll, Smilex will explain, or not. You don't have to.
I got in trouble with an otter.
Scarlet.
You otter know. Sorry.
So there's a Jerry Anderson podcast, so I'll put that link in. I guess it's more this email is more of the same, but they also mentioned that UFO is out of stock on Blu-ray, but they're looking to get it fulfilled again soon.
Wow.
Okay, I get it now. I get it.
I hear you. I understand now. Yeah, we got you covered. So sorry. Continue. Proceed, sir.
Proceed. Yep. So here's some cool soundtracks. Jerry Anderson in concert. Oh, it's on Amazon Prime UK. Oh, Amazon Prime USA. You can watch the concert. Very cool. So original live concert recording of all the tunes, I guess.
Anderson music. There you go.
Look at what Fiona just put up in the chat. This is what I mean. Like, people don't understand how expensive it is. Like, Fiona,
yeah,
nuts.
It's 1138. Yep. So what's that got to do with Star Wars? Is it THX 1138? I mean, it does say. I'm a little suspicious. 1138 93. Sorry, couldn't resist. That's what geeks do.
Well, the book is for sale in the UK now, or maybe it's a different edition. So I'm not sure, but let's see. Go back to this email here.
Well, the Apple Store is not bringing up Anderson app.
Brian, I love that episode with Cora of Long Patrol. Great episode of Real Galactica.
So I guess this is probably a different book than that Fiona's referencing. Yeah, UFO technical manual hardcover. Yeah, that's out of print, obviously. And then this is the Shadow Technical Operations. Yep. Yeah.
There's and the book that MARC has that's in a hardcover on the Canadian side of Amazon, so Amazon.ca. I believe this is pretty close. I might be off a little bit, but I believe only by $1 or $2. It's $878 or $48 and like 42 cents. Like what? What? Oh, Ander app. Thanks, Larry. Let me go take
Ander app. Yep.
Okay, Ander
app. See if it shows up for you.
Oh, this is like when I got the Star Trek app.
Very cool. Yeah.
How come it only gets 2 out of 5? What the heck's wrong with everyone?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that must be the aliens. Giving it a bad review.
Hey, leave that Anderson alone.
Yeah. Leave that Anderson alone.
Yeah, Lisa says, with the $878 or whatever it is, 42 cents. That's it. Deal breaker.
Deal breaker. Yeah, the 42 cents is the deal. Is way too much. Yep.
I don't need your crap. Charging me 42 cents.
Crap.
Look at this. This is a beauty, Mark. What you got here? Ooh.
It's nice, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, and her app. Highly recommend.
Nice.
You could just shop. You get your Space 1999. You got your UFO. And that's all I watch from the Andersons. I don't like the Thunderbirds or the Captain Scarlet, I think it is.
Captain Scarlet, yeah.
But after watching UFO, the guy's a genius, and I'll never let anyone say anything bad about him. I just love him. Like, I used to like Space 1999. I thought season 1 was pretty good. I used to like it, right? But then you watch UFO and you're like, oh, holy cow, where did this come from? It's like Clobby said. Clobby's like, this guy was working with puppets and this was inside of his head the whole time. Like, wow.
Oh, that's why I just loved it as a kid, and then you suspend disbelief. I mean, that's why it works on UFO, because it's so damn good, right? And other than it's the same thing, but you're adding puppets instead of live action. I mean, the special effects are so darn good. So here's I thought you can watch Jerry Anderson: A Life Uncharted on Freevee for free, or watch free now with ads on Amazon. So I'm getting this link for everyone. So let me grab this link.
Okay, I need to look away from my phone now and concentrate on the show. This is a really cool
you're not
app.
gonna,
I'm paying attention to
Raquel's
the
been very
chat.
quiet.
Yeah,
What
sorry.
happened?
Well, I have something. Sean sent us a couple of pictures.
What?
These are, let's see, Sean, are these the ones you just Sean Carter. Sean, are these ones you just finished? Emails completed, completed Enterprise C. So here you go. Look at that.
Yeah, so nice.
Let me see. Let me go back to my right tab here. I'm copying these links in.
Can you see it yet?
Oh yeah, awesome!
Look at this.
Excellent job. That's
Yeah,
my
it's
favorite
beautiful.
chip too. That's is that all custom? Was that one of the lighting kits that you bought for that model, or is that?
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
gorgeous,
he's so talented. The guy's so talented. It's just ridiculous. That's why I told everyone, go follow him on YouTube. Sean Carter from Mars.
Indeed, Sean, very nice, man. Thanks for showing that
sci-fi
to
model
us.
guy. Yep.
Yeah, and he does. Yeah, that's what his handle
Here we go.
is.
Here's the
Sci-fi
link.
model
Yep.
guy.
Right there.
I just put the link in. Yep. That's the C has always been one of my favorite chips. I like it so much more than the D, even
I
though
agree.
I'm Mark C with a D.
Look at him.
Mark D with a C.
Yep.
It's just
a great chip.
beautiful.
Yeah,
I like his stand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very, very nice, sir.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that
You
the
know how
polar
beautiful that
lights,
would be? Just
Mhm.
up on the mantle while you're forcing your family to rewatch all of the Star Trek movies at Christmas time, like you have for the last 35 years. That could be something you could do. Anyways, this reminds me of the old World War I, World War II TV lamps where you had to cover all your windows or whatever. That's what this reminds me of. One of those.
Well, that's
old
where all the
TV
work
lamps.
is too, in terms of masking and all those details. So you could make a model like that semi easily, if you just painted the thing gray. But that's gorgeous. You got to mask it. You've got to do all the electronics, put the lights in.
Yeah.
And then I've watched some of videos where you've got to look for light leaks through the different panels that are on the ship. So it's a painstaking process. It takes hours and hours and hours. So it's not just and of course the lighting kit is an extra item, but it really makes it look gorgeous. And I always like
Lisa's cracking jokes about how the nacelles or the nacelles, depending upon where you live, don't move like Voyager. And Larry would like to be enabled. He's asking either you or Sean if there's an affordable non-lit model of this caliber of the Enterprise C available. Would you folks mind giving him a hand, either Sean or damn it, Mark?
Damn it, Mark. Yep, there is. I'll grab. It's a Polar Lights Enterprise C kit, and I have 2 of them. So let me. And I was going to build one maybe as a lighted kit. Let me exit out of here and get
Masters Maniac Mexico. I do have to say that my family is so patient and kind and marvelous. They've never complained. Like they don't complain. They watch it with me, and yeah, and I just make them bowls of ice cream or heat them up the turkey leftovers or the ham, whatever we're having. But I do make sure that we watch all of the proper non-filth movies in chronological order for every holiday. So if we get that weekend off, or we get the Christmas week, or Thanksgiving, or or Easter, I try to take out all the movies and make them happen. And very, very rarely am I by myself. They're always there by my side. I love my family so much. I have no idea why they put up with me. Living with me cannot be easy. I have like a 6 foot, I think he's 6'2", Area 51, a fully animatronic alien in my office, and I have a little guy version in the basement, and everything is Star Trek everywhere, all over the place, full-size movie posters. Yeah, it's, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know why they put up with me, but I love them.
They are the best, but you were the best too. So I'm glad they do put up with you. The best.
And Clobby should know, because we call Clobby on big holidays this year.
Oh,
it was so funny. He made such a cool joke at Christmas time when we called him, when we all finished opening our presents. We called Clobby. We're like, how is it? How are you doing? He's like, is your mom making you watch the movies again? And the whole family yelled, yes! Clobby laughed so hard. Oh God. I'm almost tearing up just talking about it. It was so funny.
Good times.
Oh, you know what they're coming out with?
What?
Star Trek Polar Lights, Star Trek 6, Undiscovered Country, Klingon Kronos Light Kit, and 1/350th Klingon ship. Oh wow! Oh my goodness gracious!
I never get enough at looking at these ships like this. That's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. So they're coming out with a Kronos 1 here. Oh, let me change my. There we go. Look at this.
Dave,
that's a bird.
Masters Maniac Mexico says that he's proud that his mom did that with him, because he's the only one in his age group who knows who Clark Gable is. Masters Maniac Mexico, you're a beautiful son, and you deserve a mom kiss on your cheek and a warm hug. And my friend Dave, he wants to know if he can see a picture of the alien. I think I could do one better. If you hang on to 2 wags of a puppy's tail, I'll take a video of it later and I'll put it up on my twits. Are we friends on twits, Dave? I hope we are. Anyway, I'll get a video of that for you. I promise. You want the little guy and the big guy, or just the big guy in my office? I use him as an inspiration to write my stories.
Kronos 1, the D7.
Yeah.
I like that way better than the Bird of Prey. Always have. I've always liked that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree.
The Klingon battle cruiser is way better.
So this is Auto World. They sell a ton of models, but here's the C kit, and I'm not sure if Sean Carter, if this is the same. If this is the model you have, and I have.
Look at the skew.
I have the model, and I don't have it accessible right now. I think it's in the basement. Or maybe
Sean, is that the right one for Larry?
So this is 1/1400th. It's $52. It's AMT, yep.
That were the original.
You can do battle damaged or not battle damaged.
I hate that one that's battle damaged. I think that's goofy. I don't like it.
Usually I don't like to do it. Yep. Oh, he does. Lisa sent you does 1/12 scale. Let me see if I have this model kit.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Lisa,
you do.
The bottom line is you can never trust Mark with any of his model building when it comes to the Enterprise, because he always paints the neck blue.
It's blue. Look,
it is not.
Looks blue. I wonder if Sean Carter made his blue. Let's see.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not blue.
That's it. That's a no.
Well, this is not the Constitution class ship, though.
Yeah, it's true.
So
I want to go into that controversy.
Yeah, but Lisa loves it. Look at her in yelling all caps. It's so awesome. I love this woman.
Yeah.
If Lisa lived closer to me, we would be hanging out so much because we have so much in common. Have you seen her gardening photos?
Yeah.
Oh, cool she loves. Yeah, she loves being in the garden as much as I do. And her garden is beautiful this year.
Ugh,
And all of our
filth.
flowers are coming up at the same time.
I saw filth. Ugh.
Yeah, I
Oh,
know. I saw
I
filter.
can't handle that. Yeah. And Sarkar says, yes, that's the one. That's the one to get.
Oh, okay.
That's
Larry,
the one who's showing.
you got the stamp of approval from the Sean Carter from Mars.
Oh, this is so gorgeous too, though. The 1/350th refit. That's the much bigger size 1/350th. $114. Yep. So some really cool model, and of course the original classic, which I just bought.
Old AMTs.
Old
Oh my
AMTs.
goodness.
So a lot of young kids, unfortunately, aren't building models these days, but
Yeah,
you know, a few are. So, which is good. But
I like the steampunk ones.
I'd love this set with all the Enterprises together. Yep, I bought this kit, the bridge, since they re-released it. I had that bridge as a kid. The only thing I have left is Mr. Spock. I don't know where the rest of it went. I still have Mr. Spock. That's it. And of course, you can buy these lighting kits, and this I have to buy too.
Go back down. Go back down. Oh, go back.
That?
Go back.
Where? What?
Go
up. You mean up?
Look, the 50 AMT.
Yeah,
Star
I have
Trek
that.
Classic
You remember when I
USS
showed that? I showed that on the Clubhouse, didn't I?
I
bought
think
this.
you did.
Yeah, when I did my Hobby Lobby show.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, and I remember I was nerdgasming then too.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
50th
my
anniversary.
God! Look at how beautiful that is.
And you can do the lighting kit for that.
Didn't they get that part of it wrong? It's all one color.
No, Clubby.
The neck's
shin
not
kicks.
blue.
Somebody rover Clubby for me. Your agonizer, please.
Well, Mark, how do you explain that little?
Yeah, Mark.
Well, because
Lisa,
they changed it later.
Mark, Lisa, Mark, Lisa.
I'm not going to argue with the Smithsonian. I mean, they did the science on it, and they checked the paint. Yep. All right. Well, I do have a couple. I know we want to go too late. I got to buy this, but I do have a couple of fun things to show that aren't going to take too long.
No, Raquel, Raquel is probably very tired, so.
Well, this will take like 5 minutes. This will take like 5 minutes. But you're gonna want to see this. Let me switch.
The comic yet?
We forgot the comic. Oh my God!
Guys.
I totally forgot about it. I gotta admit.
Forgot about the comic too.
We can still do it though.
Captain, I'm gonna put you in the brig.
I totally.
You can't put him in the brig.
Yes, I can.
I totally. If you hadn't said that, I would have forgot all night.
Listen, tonight's comic was good. It was really good. And again, it did not feel like I was reading a comic, even though it was digital. I hate digital. I have to tell everyone, I ordered the whole thing, the whole set of the comics from a comic guy that has a comic shop that Clubby knows of, so I could trust it. And they're on their way here from Texas, but the issue number 15 is very difficult to get. I did not know this. This is because of the filth bots. Filth bots just buy whatever. So I had to get that from the Flea Bay, which I don't like buying from. But I have the physical comics coming, and tonight we're on the third comic. It's so good. It's so good.
So this book I bought, I don't want to tell Raquel how much for because she lives in the Delta Quadrant. I think it was $5 or $8. Star Trek Voyager: The Vision of the Future. Used copy.
Yeah,
pretty. I'm sure Katie has read this. But nice.
She must have. I mean, she
in the middle.
only started watching Star Trek in 2017. She said when last she met with us on the panel, like last Saturday, and so she must have been doing a lot of reading from 2017 to the present.
I love these set building pictures, but I've just skimmed. You skim a book and it's more of it's not a synopsis of the episodes, but it's the making of the show, and it's Looks
Sean,
pretty darn,
I told him
pretty
that,
darn good.
and he wasn't listening. And then you know what? Lisa made it worse. But it's just purely not because Lisa believes that. It's just that Lisa really enjoys teasing us and stirring the pot. Because if you don't stir the pot, all the juicy ingredients stick to the bottom, as they say. So Lisa was the instigator. She is instigator nerd number one. I do love her very much. But that very reasonable presentation of facts don't affect Mark.
Yep, and my 5 minutes will turn into a half hour, I'm sure. I'm trying to be quick. But anyway, so this is, let's see, back in 1968, the mission of Stephen Edward Poe, writing to Stephen E. Whitfield, was simply to chronicle the Star Trek experience. The publication of his behind-the-scenes study, The Making of Star Trek, Poe became an integral part of Star Trek mythos. In A Vision of the Future, Star Trek Voyager, Poe brings that same unique perspective to recounting the latest Star Trek incarnation. Filled with commentary from the creators, producers, to the stagehands, whose efforts often go unheralded, A Vision of the Future paints a rare portrait of the struggles and triumphs of the earliest days of Voyager. Poe exposes not only the nuts and bolts, but the hearts and minds of the people who will carry Gene Roddenberry's vision into the 21st century.
Nice.
So Whitfield, that's some great book. So yeah, so this was what year
That's
was
a
this?
pretty one.
1998. So this looks like a gooder to get. I have to ask
It
Katie
is,
about
and you
this
know
one.
the thing about the 98 is you don't have any filth in it.
Yeah.
Right. That's good. Look, we got to get to the comment because I totally whiffed on it and forgot. If you had mentioned that, Raquel, we never would have done it tonight.
Well, I'm actually really enjoying these comics, you know? Like I was talking with Clobby on
Yeah, I
the
got that too.
walkie-talkie,
But we got
and I was telling him that, like,
Come on, Mark.
you guys, these beautiful comics, I would never know about them if I didn't know Clobby. I love him so much. It's like he's opened this this door to these. They feel like lost episodes. I love this comic because, of course, you guys all know I'm a massive Christopher Pike fan. So yeah, really exciting.
All right. Yeah, let's get to the. I got mine.
Well, here,
I got that. We're not going to go
Oh,
through
I'm not,
another hour.
No, I'm not taking it out now. I just want to show that I got that. So
I got today too.
Yep. So we'll talk about that later. And then, since I got the camera, I got to do one last thing.
Oh man, I'm so agitated
I'm
right
killing
now.
you. I know, but I had the camera, so I got these in the mail today. These are Galileo 7 slippers.
Oh my
How can I
God.
not show these?
Are those slippers?
Those
Yes.
are slippers.
Oh my
Those are-
God! I don't want to live.
Making fun of me for buying a
You
Star
just made
Trek
me
item?
ugly laugh on air.
I mean, come on, I got to be able to show these in the clubhouse, right? So
Look,
these
these
are
are
available on
slippers.
Amazon.
Slippers.
I can't believe I forgot. I'm so mad right now. I can't even be joyous.
Mark, you're gonna get killed. He's gonna put you
gonna
through the
get killed.
Klingon Rite of Ascension.
Well, I'm going to put my Galileo 7 slippers on and have Scotty electrocute anyone who tries to attack me.
You're not even going to cut that thing that's holding them together ever. You can leave it like that forever, probably.
It's true.
No, I'm going to wear
Watch
these
him, like,
suckers.
pushing around in the kitchen so he doesn't snap the little piece of
Well, you
plastic.
should wear
that
them.
holds
Yeah,
them
I mean,
together.
you should wear
Look,
them
and it has
if you could fit in
Kirk.
them.
Look, Paramount, it has Kirk on them. It doesn't have someone
God.
else on.
Listen,
actually
you
have
just made
Kirk.
Dave, a grown man, snort. You just made a grown ASS man snort.
Who?
Dave.
did?
Instead of just
Who made him
snorting
do? Who made him
alone.
snort? Mark did. Why'd you do that, Mark?
I guess because no one believes there's actually Galileo 7 slippers.
Only Mark.
These are
Everyone,
gorgeous.
only Mark.
They are something.
These are cool. I bet you even Claude doesn't have these.
I don't, but he probably would.
You need to take those camping and put some
Yeah, go
whiskey and some
camping.
baked beans and teach
Yeah,
your
you can't
kids
walk around
row,
outside
your
with those.
boat.
I can't walk around outside. They're not approved footwear.
Oh, brother, they're not approved footwear. You heard it here first, folks.
Sean Carter, thank you for the super chat. He says, those slippers hold the Galileo 5 piggies.
That's a
Thank you
gooder.
so much, Sean. But I don't know, man. In retrospect, I think I am going to have to ask for
Your agonizer, please.
Okay, well, It's not you two. I'm just mad at me for forgetting about it. You don't. It's not your responsibility to remind me. I cannot believe I forgot the because we hadn't done it in a couple of weeks, and I guess I just got used to not doing it. And oh man,
Did you just use the agonizer on Mark?
No, on it was Sean's turn because he did say he did make a really bad dad joke. But, okay, it was partially for Mark too.
Do they make Gorn feet slippers? I want Gorn feet slippers.
We can just do the comic next week if you want.
No, do the comic now.
I'm not in the mood to do it now. I'm mad at myself for forgetting it, but we can do it. I mean, Mark, did you read it?
Number 3.
Yes, sir.
And it's good.
I read it last week.
I think I might have read it 2 weeks ago. I'm trying to
I read it
remember.
last week or the week before last.
Great job,
this
Butt
week.
Munch. Okay, let's do it.
Okay,
if
you're sure. Well, Raquel will remember. She's read it, so
I read it.
she can take us through it if you want to.
No,
Go for it, Raquel. Let's do it.
Do it.
Hang on.
I got my slippers, so I'm all set.
All right. Okie dokie, Smokely. Hang on a second. All right, folks. For those who don't know, this segment is something that was a long time coming. It was supposed to be. We're going to review Star Trek comic each week. It was going to be random, but Raquel doesn't have the superpower of randomness like every other human being on the planet.
Sorry, everyone.
You should be sorry. I'll be now. Anyway, so the way we're going to do it is we're going to review since it's her first comic ever. I wanted it to be something special for her. Although I didn't know it was her first ever. I just thought that she had read at least one or two, but no. So when I kind of learned that helped. What I want to do is something that's special to her, near and dear to her heart. So we started reviewing this Marvel comic from the late 90s called Star Trek: The Early Voyages, because of course she is a big fan of the Cage and Captain Christopher Pike and his great crew.
Yeah.
So let's see. All right, I'm sorry, I was pulling up my info and stuff because I was totally unprepared. All right. All right.
Such a good comic. Hold on and let me just open mine. I have a digital copy, but I'm going to read this whole thing.
Make sure you wear your gloves.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so
let's talk about the cover. Oh my God!
Well, we revert. Oh, Sean Carter. Oh, it's a big runabout. You could jog in them. There you go.
Oh God!
K-Dog Broadcasting. Hey, K-Dog Broadcasting. Good to see you.
Hey, K-Dog. No way.
What?
Alan Turing says, by the way, I started reading those 90s Trex comics because of you people. I haven't read any comics since I was a kid. Oh my
cool.
gosh.
Nice.
That is so cool. What a massive compliment.
Well, that's great to hear. I appreciate that so much.
And Larry just gifted 5 Clobbering Times memberships. So thank you, Larry.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Growing our community.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Yep.
That's great to hear. That is great to hear. Thank you, Eric K. For helping us with that. Thank you, Alan Turing, for saying that. I called him Alan Turing like you did. Fiona, you're tired? We'll put on your slippers. It'll be good.
Yeah.
So we're now up to issue number 3 of Star Trek: The Early Voyages. This was from 1997 when Marvel made a deal with Paramount. They were called Marvel Presents Paramount Comics. And they adapted, or they did a few different series at the time. And one of them, of course, was called The Early Voyages, which chronicled the adventures of Captain Christopher Pike and his crew. Unlike a current piece of trash TV show, which doesn't do that because they don't get any of the crew right, and it's written by idiot, knucklehead, moron, jerk-off, dickweeds, asshead, maggot-infested bags of filthy crap who can't write. And what she said there as well. So, unlike strangled nude worms, this is really what would have happened. So, Christopher Pike says, space, the final frontier. Before James T. Kirk, well, he didn't say that, but before Jean-Luc Picard, there was Christopher Pike. These were the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, not like a piece of trash TV show. Anyway, we won't mention here, even though I already did. To seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Our dearest blood. To set this up a little bit, folks. First of all, the writers are still, as were the first 2 issues, Ian Eddington and Dan Abnett, Patrick Zurcher on the pencils, Greg Adams inking, just like the first 2 issues, Marie Javins colorist, Denise Chiang letterer, Bobby Chase editor, and Bob Harris. I'm not going to say what I think of him, editor in chief. So, and I'm a big stickler with giving credit, especially when it comes, anything, especially when it comes to comics, for a lot of reasons that some of you may know. I'll simply say this story. I'll set it up. We'll all talk about it a little bit. For those of you familiar with number 1's favorite episode, The Cage, there is mention in the beginning of the episode, in the conversation between Captain Pike and Dr. Philip Boyce, that what's Philip Boyce, right? So, yeah, Phil. So, hey, Mega Cropper, good to see you. Of events that took place just a couple of weeks back on Rigel 7.
That's why Spock has a limp.
Spock still has a limp from an injury, and it's mentioned that a couple of people who died, including Pike's own, let's just say yeoman, and that's all you hear from that. Yeah. And then, this fills in the gap to that story. It's interesting that we're just happening upon this.
This is so incredible. Because Clobby, do you realize what you just did to my brain? Oh, I'm so excited.
Well, without bringing us down again, I just want to say what struck me also is highly coincidental about this is just 2 weeks ago, the Filth Crap did their reinterpretation of the story. Why? Yes, and it was so unbelievably stupid. Yes. They go back to Rigel.
Are they listening to our show?
No. This was made it was made way back. No, they don't do anything like this comic book does.
Well, I don't mean to.
They go back years later.
Ego inflating or whatever, but that is a massive coincidence. But why are these sicko, poo infested, fetid?
I can explain that later, but it's nothing like this comic book. So no.
And does Yeoman Colt ever appear?
No, it just so happened. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, what's weird about it is, again, they did that they aired an episode a couple of weeks ago that was its sequel, quote unquote, answer to this. It clearly takes place 5-some years after this incident, which in this case, however, they're chronicling it for the first time. What really happened, because this is real Star Trek, folks. I don't care if you say it's not canon because it's a comic book or not. This is what basically really took place. Strangled Worms is what took place in the heads of a bunch of moron idiot jackasses. So anyway, just thought I would point that out. Now,
yes.
Story title, Our Dearest Blood. And there's the Kalar. The comic book opens up where the Enterprise crew is visiting on the planet Rigel 7. They've been invited to, they're in the early talks for possibly accepting this planet into the Federation. Now, number one, if you'd like to take it from here a little bit,
because it's fresh in my mind. Boss, you have a gift from our marvelous friend Larry.
Oh, Larry, thank you so much. He says, "Okay, Raquel, who do you pick to win in a fight, Pike or Kirk?" How dare you, sir? It's the Amok Time Arena. Only one survives. It's Pike and Kirk in the prime, hand to hand.
Oh, who's the doctor?
No
Is it
doctors.
McCoy?
Oh, you can't cheat.
Come on, can we make the Dr. McCoy?
I mean, theoretically, they would both be alive, but
Kirk wins.
I think by this point, I don't know.
I actually don't know. I don't know.
You shouldn't be. I'll answer for you if you want. But you go ahead.
Answer for me.
You go ahead. You sure?
Yep, answer.
I'm kidding. You can do it. You want me to answer?
It's got to be Kirk.
It's going to be Kirk, Larry. We have seen only one bit of. It's not fair to Pike of what he's capable of. He's a bigger man than Kirk. He'd have some physical advantage. But Kirk's always 2 or 3 steps ahead. We see him. He's the master tactician. You know, he's you know, he didn't get shot with a Trias compound in this case. And now if it's on Vulcan, it's hot for both of them. But if wherever the fight takes place and it's hand to hand, Kirk, if it's life or death, Kirk would find some way to win. But he's also so cool, he would find a way to save Pike's life when he does.
But other than Leonard Nimoy,
I'm biased.
Other than Leonard Nimoy, Jeffrey Hunter is the sexiest human being that has ever been on Star Trek, men and women included. He is so gorgeous. I cannot believe how ridiculously hot that guy is. And the older I get, the hotter he is to me.
Yeah, I can't. We'll have to debate that one for another time.
Sorry, Claudia. I'm so sorry, guys.
That's all right. It was all Larry's fault. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it.
Love you, Larry. Thank you, sweetheart. Great question.
So,
may I please put that same question to the chat before I give way to the captain again? In a battle, do you believe that Christopher Pike or James T. Kirk, who would win in arena? And McCoy can't be the doctor.
No doctor counts anyway if it's a battle. So anyway, let's get on with this, or we'll never get out of here. No more,
yes.
I don't want no cracks about the comic. Okay, so what do you think, number one?
I think the Kalar are absolutely incredible. I think this is one of those times when I think Gene Roddenberry would have been over the moon to see them as these massive, like David and Goliath, almost biblical sized species. This comic was so good, it blew me away. And you kind of knew what was coming if you've watched The Cage, which was really, folks feel like they already watched it because of the menagerie. But this was beautiful. This did not feel like a comic to me. I didn't feel like I felt like I was reading an episode, and I enjoyed this so thoroughly, and the art was beautiful. I loved all of the conversations. I loved the way that the characters interacted. I love number one. Rock. It just I don't even know what to say because I'm not used to gushing. But what the craziest thing is, the more our friendship grows, the more I get very enthusiastic. I'm very, very happy with the things that you show me because they are truly beautiful things. This is a gorgeous comic that tells the beautiful story that we are all filling in the blanks for from the 1989 release of The Cage. And so it's just marvelous. It works together very harmoniously. There is a pureness to the fidelity here. It's engrossing. Once again, it's very intelligently written. I loved it. I loved it. And you're so sad when you know what's coming. Because you know what's coming, right?
Yes, and they do a beautiful job of showing, like, filling in some blanks of things that we did not know. All we basically knew is that they got trapped by a bunch of the warriors. He said, "I should have smelled trouble when I saw the guns and the swords and the armor, but I let myself get trapped by a bunch of their warriors." Well, that's dealt with here, and of course, this character that they built up over the past couple of issues is Yeoman and his friend. This guy, well, Cusack is an interesting character. This woman, does she look familiar? Not exactly, but sort of. You're thinking, wait a minute. Yep, close. And then this ad here.
And that's obviously, what the Talosians were playing on, this thing that happened with the Kalar. And I really like the fact that he's not sure whether or not he can trust her. And then she turns out to be a wench.
Right. Absolutely. So here we go. Enterprise receiving you. Go ahead, Yeoman. Everything's going well. Number one, the festival's in full swing. You can start beaming down the shore leave parties when ready. Acknowledge. Enterprise out. So number one, I love how they draw her right here. Again, she looks so much like
she's gorgeous.
Majel. Yeah.
Yeah, the fidelity is
great
phenomenal. Art. And you know what's really weird about this comic too is that you even if you're a nerd and not a geek and you don't know anything about comics, you have an overwhelming sense, like to the point where it will give you goosebumps, that these people are using the art the same way that Gene Roddenberry and the Holy Trinity wanted to use TAS. So just like to maximum effect,
Yes.
right? You're looking at those Kalar, and then you really start to get this sense of how he wanted the Kalar to be perceived, how dangerous he wanted them to be. And the first thing I start thinking of is, oh my goodness, this is like the land of the giants. This is like David and Goliath. This is so beautiful. What a great story. Anyway, I got to be quiet because I could go on and on about how awesome
That's
this
what we're
is.
here for. Don't worry about that. Basically, they're sending us shortly people down there. They had to take lots to go down there, but Spock, of course, has to be forced to go. Sir, if you wish, I could stay. The ship won't fall apart without you, Mr. Spock. Go and have a good time if it's possible. We'll try and cope in your absence. Very well, sir. Like again, they did a great job of capturing young Nimoy from the episode. At no time does he act like a complete imbecile idiot like he does on some shows we'll not mention.
That's not him.
I did not mean to overstate my importance to the crew, yet the commander's tone was decidedly brusque. Forget it. She was teasing, really. Be sure of it. When you've been around humans as long as I have, you'll start to notice things like irony.
Love him.
Yeah, I like this character, Nano, right here. So anyway,
his sweetheart.
And Pike is he's got the attention of that blonde hottie.
Rank
Cool
wench.
stuff. Hey, she's
Well, you don't know that at that point, though.
Yeah, I know.
We don't know
Of
that
course.
yet.
I know. Yeah.
Great stuff, right? Great pages. Again, his page, I love it. How he lets it breathe. This looks like the Star Trek scene right here, right out of.
Yeah.
It's convincing my people with such protectionist determination, we have made us, our Kalar elite, the most feared planet in the sector. See, they're all dressed like this, by the way. They are a spacefaring race. They're dressed like this as a festival and a ceremony. They're being taken into the Federation. Anyway, you have a lot of dialogue here. We'll go into all the dialogue and everything, just everyone, because she's reading for yourself, even though we are spoilering. Spoiler alerts.
Oh, you need to buy this. If you didn't buy this, I shouldn't tell people to buy anything. Don't buy anything. I just
it's highly recommended.
Enabling, like the enabling here is like, it's so cherry. It's so cherry. Oh, it's so good. Anyway,
there's a lot of comics out there for you to buy, Raquel. Now that we've enabled you,
you're ruining my life.
You're gonna get addicted.
Look, I love you, man. I love you and your whole cute family. Like you're like the cutest family ever. But you're ruining my life. Anyway, please go, Cobb.
So they're talking about again. They have some very Trek type talk right here, and there you go. Well, man, this shot right here.
There's the money shot
right out of the cage. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Bum, 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 bum. I mean, I'll just hear that music from the cage.
And they explain the nature and the presentation of the Zemtar fortress. So you get a better idea of why when in the cage, when they approach the door, why everything is. Anyway, I'm not going to spoil it. Anyway.
Well, it's a simple story. It's a simple plot in that, this Federation, but there's many amongst the people on this planet that don't want to join the Federation, and the Federation don't know that yet. They don't know about, and so they invited the crew down. They wanted them to relax. There's this violent faction that has embraced their old savage ways. They want to basically want to sabotage what the Federation and this planet's government have negotiated.
Yeah, they don't want to become a part of the Federation. So they're doing everything they possibly can, and now they're going to take some really hostile actions. They go rank violent. Matthew Pounder just said, "What's it called again?" And that's not like him to ask the question. So were you asking about the Zemtar fortress, or are you asking which iteration of comic we're doing, Matthew? Because I'll get the boss to get on that right away.
The comic is...
I love you too, honey.
Hey, Mega Crupper. Yep, good to see you there. Now what it's a call if you're referring to the comic book, it's called Star Trek: The Early Voyages. No, this is issue number 3.
3, yep.
And it's from 1997, Marvel Paramount Comics. And it's, of course, the Captain Pike's crew. Unlike Strangled Dude Worms, it's really Captain Pike's crew.
Oh yeah, like 100%. Like I'm telling you, as a hardcore Jeffrey Hunter, hardcore Cage fan, my number one in all TOS is the Cage. I'm crazy for it. This thing is like, the fidelity is unbelievable, and it, like I said, like a goosebump inducing a realization that they are maximizing the animation as the medium the same way the Holy Trinity did for TAS. It's remarkable. It's so beautiful. Anyway,
really
down
is.
to the detail of explaining why the Zemtar fortress, when Pike approaches it, why there are things all over the ground. Like, just anyway, let's stop talking because
here's a picture of it real quick.
Ezra Goldstein.
Ezra, shalom.
Shalom. Good to see you, my friend. Yes, there we go. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, that music.
And that's a still from the episode.
Yeah.
So that's why that art looks.
That's Zemtar there.
So good. Yeah.
See that? Yeah. So yeah, very cool. Thank you.
Great job.
Well, I'm glad you showed that. Thanks. So anyway, we got they're enjoying their shore leave. They think this is just fun stuff. They're all cool, but it is Star Trek, so something's got to go wrong, because otherwise you don't have a story, and something's got to go whack bonkers. And it turns out there's this what is it? What's happening to Boyce?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't understand that part.
Leave me alone. Let me be. You heart. I won't listen to you. He's having heart problems.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess is like portents for the future.
Yes, it's trying to explain what's going to happen to him. So that's another thing that I have to tell you about these comics. Like
they do that.
Yeah, it's really cool because, and a lot of the time, so far in 3 of the episodes, I'm not even going to call them issues. I'm going to call them episodes. Number 1 has her own like story thread, and here Boyce has his own story thread. It's setting something up that it's going to have a big payday later. And then of course we have what's happening with Captain Pike.
I didn't even use our opening credits for this segment. I was so rattled and aggravated with myself.
Oh, we'll show it at the end.
Show it at the end, but I'm mad at me. They won't think we're ending. Anyway, actually, it's an interesting question. Fiona says, are the Kalar different species from the other Rigelians?
Yes. Yes, they are. So she explains that the Kalar are a barbarian race, and basically what has happened is that the vast majority of the Kalar have decided that they want all of the benefits of being in the United Federation of Planets. But there are several of the barbarians that really like this clan lifestyle. They want to just go and pillage. They want to raise villages and pillage and do whatever they want. And so they step forward, and this is their grand opportunity to destroy the relationship with Rigelians, so that they don't join the United Federation of Planets. So they're really trying to muck about here and prevent their society from moving forward, right?
Yes, and
but just technically too that it wouldn't be the Federation. So if you're a real stickler here, it would be the United Earth Space Probe Agency. But it's okay with me that they say the United Federation of Planets. I don't mind at all.
They retcon stuff sometimes. They always do. But Stardate, first officer's person long shore leave is well underway, and everything is ship shape. The Enterprise is unnervingly quiet, like a house when all the children have left home. That sounds familiar.
I love that she says that.
After touring the ship, I'll visit the observation lounge, gather my thoughts with the stars, just company. Anyway, again, you got stuff going on. Life is normal on the bridge, but on the ship, but they start to lose contact with their people on the surface. And
wait till you get to page 19.
Sure enough, swords start a slinging.
Mm-hmm.
The crew is under. This is a great big old page. Couple
This
of
is
pages.
page
right here.
Splash
19.
page. Yep.
Oh,
Two
it's so
page-
good.
2-page splash right here.
So it's hard to, like, if you've never read a comic before, at first you're sort of taken aback, and then you realize that they use this panel stuff like call-out boxes in a magazine. So if you're a nerd, don't worry about it. You don't have to have the geek knowledge of how the panels unfold or the little boxes unfold. This one really works. When you read it on your own, when you're engrossed in the story, you're going to be like, oh, wow. It would be almost like you were filming the episode, and the little facial close-ups would be the reactions you would see in celluloid. So it's just glorious. It's so much fun, and the art's beautiful. Anyway.
Yep. So the fight starts that we only heard about so far. And then Pike is under attack to fight the Kalar, something that he will flash back to later when he is on Talos 4 in the
Yep.
cage.
Yep.
And when he tries
And,
to force the Talosian out of his mind, and then they wind up in front of the Zamtar fortress.
Yep. And then get out of here. He tells her to get out as you wish, Captain.
You can tell by the
Wanna try
smirk
to-
on her face.
Yeah,
that
she's got
that's
evil
the-
face.
Yes.
That's the giveaway there. And that when I read that, like, that's as you wish. Yeah. Another
Mhm.
Princess Bride reference too. But yeah, you can tell that smirk, great art there, that you know something's up. She's
we
not
know that-
concerned about him.
Right. We know later when Vina doesn't look like her exactly though.
No.
But I mean close because of the outfit, but not quite. She's a blonde.
And Vina isn't evil like she is. Although
No.
Vina isn't up to any good either.
No, but
guinea
not like
pig
her
and-
though. Yeah.
Trying to
Right.
guinea pig our guy.
So anyway, there's a big fight, and the crew's have run from they're hiding, they're holed up. Well, eventually they got to find a way out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. They go find a way to take care of the system that's jamming their communications.
Yeah, their
With the
communications.
Enterprise.
But this panel in particular, when you
Ooh.
read it, folks at home, you're going to be blown away. So see the shunk? You would not believe the comments that Pike makes before he does this to the Kalar. It's like it's pure Gene Roddenberry. He goes on
Maybe,
about how
yeah.
he doesn't want to do this, that he doesn't want he doesn't want to hurt anyone, and he definitely doesn't want to hurt the Kalar. He doesn't want to not only feed into the violence, but he doesn't like killing. And it's pretty remarkable.
It's
Hey,
him or
Joe,
me.
Joe's Atmosphere, what's up, buddy? And DJ
Hey,
Ronnie
Joe.
G, what's up?
DJ Ronnie G. So
you
I
saying?
had to pause on that particular image because I couldn't believe the dialogue he was having with himself. So it's a thought bubble. So it's got the little swirly curlies. So
Yes.
it's his thoughts, and he's like, I don't want to do this. This isn't the right thing to do, but I don't have a choice. And I was just like, oh, that's so Gene Roddenberry. Anyway.
Brief commentary on that as a long-time fan of comic books and comics history and the way they've evolved over the years. This was getting toward the end of the age where the comic book thought balloon would be used as exposition. There was a time when they were phasing it out a little bit, or they would either use blocks for exposition and combined with thought balloons, and then eventually you don't see it anymore. No one because
Aw.
sometimes it can be kind of clunky, like you don't see it in a. I'll give you an example. Forget whether you think of the Cloud Minders or not, because I don't like that episode. The scenes where Spock's just sitting there thinking. They have a couple scenes like that. I remember when I first saw it, I'm like, what is this, a comic book? I'm hearing his thoughts. It was weird. Well, the comics do that all the time, or they used to.
Yeah,
They
not
stopped
as much
doing that.
anymore.
They don't do it anymore at all. But I guess this is the late 90s.
Here it's needed.
Where they do it. Well, again, there are other ways they could have done it. I don't mind it, but I've always thought I didn't mind when they got rid of it. Certain writers did get rid of it, but sometimes you can use it. And
Or the editor's notes, the shooter's editor notes that were all over the place. Once in a while it was good, but
I love knowing though that Christopher Pike has no bloodlust, because it's like Clubby said earlier, this is getting it's getting to know Christopher Pike better. We got one date with Christopher Pike. Now we're on our 4th date. It's so great. And sorry for the sound going on in the background. They're doing some road work, so I actually live on a really nice quiet street, but they've redirected all of the buses until the road work is done. So it's very weird for me to hear a bus on my street, because that's not normal. And I just wanted to point out that JT Kirk was talking about the onomatopoeia. Yeah, for that shunk, because not only does it mean impaled, but it means slinking down the pole. It's horrible, isn't it, JT Kirk? And cool at the same time.
Very Wolverine-y. But anyway, yeah, no, look, you like you say, JT Kirk says they don't do it at all anymore. It was very much when they were doing it, especially a lot in the early days of comics. It was very much an editorial decision that was coming on from high from the editor usually. And it became just a staple of comics, if you'll pardon the pun, which not much of a pun, granted. But anyway, so that's just, it's always, you don't see it a lot anymore. And here's what you also don't see. You don't see the Joe Kubert School of Cartoon Graphic Art anymore. That's because nobody can draw like the great Joe Kubert. So if you didn't go to this school, you're probably not drawing well.
There's a Cookie Crisp ad coming up. There we go. Nick
yeah,
Weiser.
Cookie Crisp.
Cookie
Never
Crisp.
heard of it.
Nick Weiser.
That's
a very healthy cereal.
Very healthy, yeah.
Does not look healthy. I love this page. I think this page is beautiful. I feel sorry. I feel so sorry for Cusack. Oh, it's terrible.
We're starting to like him as a character. He was the kind of a maybe sort of a Gary Mitchell for a Pike character. He was kind of a he's a friend of his. He knew each other well.
Oh yeah.
Jokester.
That's so true, Clubby. And that comes through in these 3 comics that they were buds. You could tell that he got a little bit under number 1's skin. She found him too chittity chatty, but his chittity chattiness was something that Christopher Pike found comfort in, because he could lighten the mood, and he was an exceptionally good yeoman. He was a very good yeoman.
Yeah, that's right. Tim Hayes, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
So unfortunately, this is the one that yeoman that Pike mentions that we know nothing about later, would never even know. But this comic gives you some context to that if you like that sort of thing, and I do. I think it's kind of cool and sad.
Does he mention him by name? I can't remember now.
No, he just said yeoman.
Yeah, it just says yeoman.
Okay. And that's in the full cut of the cage. It was cut out completely from the menagerie, I think.
Yeah. I'm just happy that we got the menagerie, right? When they had that little period where they ran out of money, and Gene said, "Oh, I have an idea," and all those executives who told him no, and that show was too progressive and too cerebral, and he got to run it. He got his way. Ha ha, suckers! Too big, flipping you the birds. Anyway,
indeedishness. So anyway, we're back now. Now that they were able to get some officers in there with phasers, that cool phaser gun.
And fishnets.
Yeah, fishnets. Yeah.
Hey, man. Long live the fishnets.
I like those uniforms.
Yeah,
I love
Black Canary on Star Trek.
There's been some kind of assassination attempt on all Federation service personnel. Any idea why? It's too early to say, sir. Security teams are moving. Anyway, later, Captain's log. After returning to the Enterprise, the picture soon became clear. The attack on my cruise was orchestrated by Rigelian extremists, Kalar loyal traditionalists, resenting Rigel's joining the Federation. Situation is under control, but at a price.
So funny too, because this is the smarter version of Star Trek that a lot of people don't get to see in the more modern iterations of Star Trek, and that is this whole idea where you in modern Star Trek, and of course the quality is centrifugal. You don't go to a planet and all the species are the same every time. And the thing that I really like about the way that they unpack this is giving meaning to the Kalar and the Rigelians and showing that there were 2 different species there. Do you know what I mean? Like I like that about this comic. Anyway.
Yep. No, I absolutely love it.
Right.
The only thing I don't understand is why did they deny them entrance to the Federation? So that means the extremists won in this case.
Well,
So
no, but what it means is that if the Federation is going to consider you to join, at this point, it would be the hundreds of other worlds, in to edify yourselves, to live in complete peace, to share all of.
Yeah, you can't have them in there.
No, and what it would mean is that with the Kalar, it could spark civil war. So you can't do that on another planet. It's just not
And
that. Not all the species are on
right.
board here, and it's quite clear to the point where you could be provoking violence and possibly even messing with the Prime Directive.
Now you got to get your shit in order before you can join the Federation. And
I know,
Yeah.
but I think there should
and
be
they
more
didn't
of
even tell him.
Yeah,
No, but it's just a faction, just an extremist faction on the planet. There's obviously
But-
a lot of people that do want
I
to.
understand that,
join
but
the
you don't get to
Federation, yeah.
you don't get to join the Federation if you have any thing like that going on. They just don't
Yeah.
allow it.
Yeah. Well, because it could appear then that you've you've inserted yourself into a blood feud, and we hear how many times Kirk says, we're not going to get involved with the blood feud, and it's also the fact that they're the numbers of Kalar that are against them joining the Federation. It's substantial. We're not talking about like a cell of like 12 Kalarians who don't want to join the United Earth Space Probe Agency or the United Federation of Planets. You're talking about, look at that opening scene. There are thousands of them there. Thousands.
Yep.
That's
And they
Civil
were all in
War.
they thought that was costume and celebrating older time, like a throwback festival. It turned out they got infiltrated, and then I wouldn't let them join either.
Yeah.
No, I just
Well-
think there could be. Well, it's a comic, so there's not a lot of room too. But maybe expand on why, or explain it a little bit more. Or say, in 10 years they can reapply again or something. But
No.
I know I just don't like the idea of a group getting their way through. I don't want to use the wrong words for the algorithm here, but
Well,
that just I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that then they kind of got their way, right?
not
Unfortunately.
necessarily. They'll still keep. Federation won't give up on it. They'll still talk to them, and
Yeah.
they'll still be on a friendly basis with that government. But they're not going to let them join the Federation.
No.
Yep.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, they didn't say it there, but that's what I take away from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That
for
they're
sure.
gonna. Hey,
And
Oliver
we see that
Belafonte.
in examples elsewhere in TOS and in every iteration.
Oliver, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. So
Good to
anyway,
see you, Oliver
the end.
Belafonte.
What did you, Mark? Do you have any other thoughts about the comic? What do you think?
Oh,
about
it's just fantastic comic. I mean, I'm not that ending. I'm not picking on. I'm just saying that
That's
it's kind
fine.
of short shrift on the explanation there of what would happen to the planet and how they could get back in. But yeah, the artwork's fantastic, as per usual by what I'm
Patrick
forgetting the other's
Zurcher
name.
and Greg
Zurcher,
Adams.
yep. And of course, it's as Hungry Boy said too. It's much tougher to get these likenesses. So this puts you into the show. I mean, you think this is an episode of the show.
Yeah.
It fits in. The story is good.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And it's a little short. It's a comic, so it's kind of like Tales of Tomorrow. They got to fit a lot in, but it's very well done, and it's.
But that's the risk you take when you tell short stories. That's why
Yeah.
I like telling short stories. Is I don't like didacticism. I don't need to like give somebody instruction on how to be or how to think. And there's this very liberating feeling in a short story where the reader gets to push back the walls of the universe you're creating, and it's such a beautiful and harmonious relationship where you have to deftly deploy this extreme density in which to convey your ideas and also to tickle the brain enough to make somebody want to push the walls out, to expand. Oh, that must have been why this happened, or could
Yep.
you imagine if this happens? And so I find it beautiful, and it's the very antithesis of the style of writing we're seeing today, where it's a stranglehold, not only in admonishing you for what you think, but also in trying to supplant everything you think with whatever the corporation wants you to think. And so I'm actually really enjoying. I've never experienced this brand of brevity before, but I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. It's taut, it's
Now
fun.
you know why we love comic books.
Yeah, and
We
I get
love
to go on a date. I'm on my 4th date with Christopher Pike. This is
There you go.
great.
And you got more issues coming in because you've ordered them.
Yes,
So
and I get to touch them.
hey, yeah,
And
you
smell
can have
them.
them all.
Don't forget
Yes,
to smell them.
touch them and
Smelling is
smell them,
important. That's
and
important.
having books inside of your house. I know I have a lot of books, folks, wall-to-wall books, but books are very important. And you could just ask Minimus how it changes the way your house smells. It's like it's a different feeling. It's an otherworldly feeling. It's such a good feeling. It's
Well, we I didn't play the opening intro to this because I forgot, but this is the outro, so don't go anywhere, everyone. This is the
don't leave.
our special outro for our comic review segment made by our wonderful first officer. Don't go anywhere. We're just gonna play this.
Don't beam out.
Don't
beam
leave.
away.
Don't beam out.
Warp drive, Mr. Scott. Ahead warp 1, Mr. Sulu. Accelerating to warp 1, sir.
Yeah, Star
Well
Trek.
done.
comics.
Well done.
There were lyrics to that, of course. Star Trek comics are cool, better than crappy. Never mind, new crap. Better than the filth. I'll fix the lyrics later.
Oh, Matthew
So,
Pounder,
yeah.
I love
And
you,
people-
man. Thank you.
Hey, well, number one. Hey, take a bow. Everyone, clap.
Oh,
Big
you guys, you don't
give
have
That was
kudos
amazing,
to
yeah.
number one. She made that. It's beautiful. I
you
love
guys
it.
are so sweet. That's not necessary, but Matthew Pounder, LLAP, man. Love you, man.
And Tim
Now-
Hayes is saying there's people in the chat who have never seen the cage. So here's the picture of the cage.
I didn't get to see that. Oh,
You can see
I
it. Now
saw
you
that.
can. Give it a second. Yeah.
Hysterical. So bad.
It's so
So
lost.
bad. I mean, it's funny, but
It's funny.
Oh,
the
Jesus.
cage.
Well, number one, could you see that video?
only parts of it. But it's okay
Really?
because I know what happens in it.
Oh my God. I don't know what's wrong. Oh well.
Yeah, it's okay.
We
We'll
hear
get-
you fine. At least they're hearing you fine, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
That was
and there was
Is
a
it your
little
in-
delay on my mic, but it's okay. It's okay. Tim
Is
Hayes,
your
yeah.
interwebs are slow, or is it just the StreamYard, you think?
I don't think so. I have like a super high speed internet. I don't know what's going on with it. Tim Hayes says the cage has been available since the 1990s on home video, and then it sometimes got shown with all the aired episodes in syndication.
It did,
No.
yeah.
The cage was made available, I believe, in its entirety by 1988.
88.
It was widely available by 1989. So that's when, but I am not aware that it was ever shown in syndication. I don't believe
Seen
that.
it on
Um,
Channel 11. I
No,
thought.
it was part of the. It was on DVD. It was put on VHS
Yeah,
and then stuff like that. Although I do know that before '88, the only way you can see it is when Roddenberry was taken to campuses and show.
that's right.
A buddy of mine got to go to that once.
Yeah, Larry was talking about that in the chat. That is true.
But yeah, other than that,
And they had that big special where they
it was like a syndicated special where he did it.
Yeah.
Then they showed the
And it was-
cage, and Roddenberry had
parts were in black
had
and
it
white, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Until they found
Which
the
was
color.
weird.
Yep.
Yeah. Which was weird, really, but yeah. So yeah, love the cage, and thank you all for being here with us tonight. Now, number one, before Mark, before we get out of here, I know I cut you short earlier for doing something you were about to do, and I hated that I did that. I was just so mad at myself for forgetting to do the review. So what you got?
No, we're just showing the sand, the slippers, the Galileo 7.
Okay,
That was it.
are you sure?
And I just wanted to give, and I just wanted to give out a
look
shout
at
out.
that!
You know,
Look at that Gorn in that.
yeah, he's taking a rhyme.
Take me out of these
Well, you
things.
see
gotta
that
put
Gorn
your feet
there?
in.
I think that belongs to me.
Yeah. I don't like being in your damn slippers. Get me out of here. This is embarrassing. I will not be merciful to you, Captain.
Well, now Mark can say that he walked a mile in the Gorn shoes.
In the Galileo 7. There are two of them. It's like the Galileo 14 there.
Why don't you sit him down inside of
Galileo in
the?
size 14s.
Sit him down in the Galileo. Let him go for a ride.
That's just too weird.
You got to put Khan in the other one. Khan.
Well, that's true. Sci-Fi Channel did show the cage. Yeah, I remember that. They did.
Oh,
But that was like that was after they already started in 1992, though. So yeah, they did do it though.
Yeah, that's cool. That's funny.
There you go. Oh, I'm sorry, Larry. You're right. Hang on, bub. Good point.
There's the real Galileo 7, right?
There you go. Even I have that.
Yeah.
Star trekking across the universe.
On the set of Enterprise under Captain Kirk.
Star trekking across the universe.
Oh, they're going forward because we get fun reverse. And Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow.
This
Love it.
thing
I
is
love
on the
that song.
starboard bow.
Starboard bow jam.
Yes, sir. Well, no, it is very late for number one. It is a school night first, so we're going to start on moseying on out of here. So let us do this. Let us get a move on. Number one, any closing words for our wonderful friends out there?
Well, thank you so much, Boss Man. I just want to thank each and every single person who came to the chat tonight. I just want to thank you for the marvelous conversation, for your ideas, everything you share, everything you say. It's of great interest to us, and we enjoy your company immensely. Thank you for taking time out of your day to spend it here with us. We're nothing without you. This conversation is enriched by the amazing people who show up here to create these conversations. So thank you, everyone. I had such a lovely time with you all. You said so many kind and beautiful and thoughtful things, and just friendly, smart, and cool things. And yeah, I appreciate you. And I can't call out every single person, but I want you to know it's every single person. I read every single one of your comments, and even the way you interact with one another. It's impressive. I love being a part of this friendship circle that CLOBBY'S created for us. It's pretty incredible. No hyperbole. It is pretty darn incredible. I want to thank all the wrenches for their hard work. Thank you so much for helping to build this community and keep it together and helping everybody to find everything they need. I want to thank every single person who donated memberships to build up CLOBBY'S channel, who sent money to keep the lights on in his virtual comic book shop. I love this man. In 3 years, he's become one of my closest friends. And that's saying a lot. I'm an INTJ. I'm a total introvert. And I absolutely love this guy. He's a pretty amazing soul. So thank you for helping him to keep this show going. It's really remarkable. I want to thank Mark for showing up tonight. Just love his company. What a great guy. He always shows us such cool things. He's always got such a cheerful attitude, and loving and kind things to say about everyone and just about everything. And that is a rare thing in our world today. And he could sure use your support on his Patreon, which we kind of forced him into, and his marvelous YouTube channel. I have a book coming out. Well, I have a book. It's called Science Fiction Tales. It's classic episodic science fiction. 4 of the stories in the book actually became Amazon bestsellers because of this community. I could use your support if you'd like to buy that book. All you have to do is look up R.M. Briggs and Science Fiction Tales. But I have a second book coming out, and I'm getting some help from the community. The community wants to see these stories before anyone else and support me as an independent artist who can't get published by the corporations. Corporations don't want science fiction. They don't want episodic short stories. They don't want classic science fiction, if you get my meaning there. They want famous people writing long novels about fifis instead of science fiction about ideas. So these 16 marvelous souls who I've met through Clobby stepped forward and said, we're going to back your book. And those marvelous souls are as follows: Larry, Tony Stark, Sean Carter, Cardinal Sin, also known as Gil Bavel on the internet, my good friend Shooter, Chris Persia, Scuba and Leslie Pete, marvelous human beings, I love them, Eric K and his marvelous trusty dusty puppy Kirby, who I love, Enigmatic Drop Bear, Michael and Cassandra Beacom, Mark D with a C and his whole beautiful and amazing family, Anti-Derivative Jill, Maximum Redstone, my buddy JJ Kirk, Dabman and the Dabman clan, and of course Lord and Lady Thoth. Thank you so much for supporting this second book. I hope you love it. I can't wait to get it out there and get it published. But in the meantime, it's for your eyes only. And last but certainly not least, Clobby, I love you. Thank you for creating this space for all of us to come together, for promoting the things we care about, for talking about the things we love, for finding ways to bring people together to talk about cool and wonderful things. This is a positive space filled with intelligent people. And wow, what a ride. And none of it could happen without you. None of this would be happening without you. I love you, baby. Mwah.
Oh, thank you. Right back at you. You're the best. Love you. Love you. And thank you all for helping Raquel the way you've done. It just makes my heart sing the way you help her that I wish I could. So thank you so much for that. Marco.
Hey, well,
any closing words?
Definitely. Thank you again, Raquel. I don't know who you're talking about sometimes when you're so nice to me. Yeah, I know, but I got to say it. It's like, oh, goodness gracious. But yeah, much appreciated. Everyone support Raquel on her Patreon if you can. You know, if you can't, you can also follow someone on Patreon too, I think, for free. I haven't been doing as much stuff on my Patreon. I apologize. My channel kind of got nuked, so I'm getting like 5 views a day.
That's his YouTube.
But we're gonna try to,
and
my
it's
YouTube.
because
Yeah,
they know, like they think that Mark is like a storefront, and Mark's not a storefront. They don't understand that like it's adult content that's like convention content. So they don't understand that he's like a geek and a nerd channel. They actually think like that he's like trying to get parents to bring their kids there to buy toys. It's absolutely ridiculous. I cannot wait until his appeal goes through, because absolutely ridiculous. Like show them 5 photos of San Diego Comic-Con and maybe they'll figure it out. And I want to make that clear, because Mark hasn't done anything wrong. He's a sweetheart of a guy who just loves all this stuff. His house is like a museum. He's not trying to sell anything to anyone. He's actually really smart and funny and cool person who likes all this stuff. So supporting him over there helps a lot, folks. He has not done anything wrong. I'm telling you that. Okay, I saw what they said to him. He didn't do anything wrong. If supporting convention-like stuff for nerds and geeks has gone wrong, well, I want to be wrong every day. Anyway, sorry, Mark.
Well, no, thank you so much. Yes, I'm been working on that appeal, and since I'm back from camping, I think I got till the 24th to do it. So I got to really get that video out. You got to do a appeal video to the YouTube. So I'm hoping Fingers crossed it goes through. But if not, you know, hey, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Then I got to wait again till October. But no, it's just fun to have all those super chats and members chats and you know, I was looking forward to doing a members stream. But you know, I appreciate everyone who's subbed and watched. And
Yeah.
hey, had a lot of fun here tonight. It's great to hang out with everyone in the chat
We
here. It's so
appreciate you.
awesome. Thank you.
Juxtapose. We appreciate you.
Hail Juxtapose, yep.
Hey,
And
Juxtapose.
so it's you know, great time hanging out here. And yeah, I got some cool Galileo 7 slippers. I'm definitely, they do not let you fly, so do not try to escape into the atmosphere with those. So but I'm looking forward to Sunday Night Geekery. This Sunday night we'll be hanging out talking, probably not too much Barbie. I don't know if I'm Clobbering Times is definitely not going to go see the new Mission Impossible movie. And I don't know if I'll have a chance to go see that, but you know, we always find something to talk about. And then we always you know, regress into a food stream. I can show the ribs that I cooked over over this weekend. So, but thanks again, everyone's been a lot of fun.
Thank
Mark,
you.
how
Thank
do I
you
follow
both
you
so
on your
much.
Patreon?
Oh, I put the. You should
do
be
you
able to
do
follow.
that?
You just. I think you just do. You click follow, like, because I know I followed
I don't
a
have
couple
that
of
in
people that don't
Canada.
pay.
I would have been following you a long time ago. Gosh
I
darn
think
it.
there is a follow on page. I got to go check now to see, but I know I'm following a couple of YouTubers.
Show me how.
Or maybe
Through the
it's an
Clubhouse
option. You
later.
have to. Maybe it's something not everyone has the follow option.
Yeah, can you do me a favor? In
I'll
order to
check,
build
yeah.
up your Patreon, can you do me a favor, bud? Can you please put the instructions for how to do that on your Twitter? Because everyone will go over and they'll follow you.
Thank you. Yep, I shall.
Can you do
check
that,
out
please?
now.
Okay,
I shall.
thank you.
I shall do
And
my
now we
homework.
need to shut up so Clubby can do his job.
Yeah.
No, just no hurry. Shout out. Excuse me. Shout outs and show notes. Show notes and shout outs. Tomorrow night, Friday night, I believe 6 Central, 7 Eastern. I'll be over the great J-Man's channel. This lovely art here by the great Could Not Be Reached for Further Comment. Talking all things Batman 66, the Great Adam West show. The reason we're all here because of that show. That's why my geekness exists. So that will be fun, hanging out with those fellers. And then be hanging out at the great Nick Weiser's channel later after that, 8:30 Central Standard Time. At least I think that he may have moved it back. I'm not sure, but reviewing some more amazing Spider-Mans from the Dick era. Let's see. And then, of course, Saturday night Star Trek. Here we go. 4 more episodes. Well, starting with our first 4 batch of episodes. It's reviewing Star Trek Voyager on the first, really second. Well, we're just starting our first leg of our mission there. So looking forward to that. And then, of course, Sunday night, the Geekery, the aforementioned Sunday night Geekery with Mark D with a C's, the Great Engineers channel coming of us.
That's
10
like one of
p.m.
the
Eastern.
best posters you've ever done. Every time
It
I
is
see
really
it, I'm like,
cool.
yeah, it's such a cool poster, hey?
Not that good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, well, it's not that good, but thank you.
It is very good. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, here we go. So I should put Voyager on there, right? So anyway,
Yeah.
everybody, we'll be that. Yeah. And then, of course, some Legion of Superheroes talk on J-Man's Monday night, and then all kind of other fun stuff throughout the course of the week, which I'll get all settled up later. Let's see here. Our great wrenches, of course, the great Eric Crave, bronze wrencher, Vindicator wrench of the Great White North, Chris Persia, the wrench of iron, D. Bud Martin, Avon lives, long live the Legion, to the great Lord Thoth, the J-Man, the wrench without fear, Hungry Boy, Master of the Clubboni, Supreme Wrench, Super Rich, Kal-El, Batty's Daddy, Thor in Vegas, Fanty Outsidery, and Maximum Redstone, and of course, all of you wonderful friends here with us tonight. The ladies, the lovely Fiona, the lovely Lisa, and the rest of you are guys, so you don't need to be checked. I'm just kidding. I don't know who's. I think the rest are guys, right? But we'll be nice to them anyway. Could Not Be Reached for Further Comment. Thank you for being here, Sean Carter. Thanks for the pictures, buddy. Thank you. Great stuff, man. Juxtapose. Thank you for being here. JT Kirk, my buddy.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Dun Power Rangers. Larry, always great to see you, buddy. Thank you for being here, my friend.
Mwah.
The great Larry one. The great. Let's see, Mega Cropper. Hey.
Yay. Good night, honey.
Thank you for being here. Let's see here. Bop. Takes a while to get to them. Tim Hayes. All right, sir. Let's see here. Okay, it takes a while to get to all of them. You got to understand, everybody. Matthew Pounder. Yes, sirree, Bob. Bob's your uncle. Dave C.
Dave!
Touring Machine. DJ Ronnie G was here, of course. Money Podium. Oliver Belamonte, Joe's Atmosphere, Smilex. Oh, good. Thanks for being here, Smilex. Let's see. Here we go. I started something. No.
Rolling. Keep that clubbing rolling.
It's annoying, this
Club
thing.
hide.
It's tough to get. Oh, Ezra Goldstein. Shalom. Takes a while to get to people that you hadn't shouted out yet. It's got to be a better way.
Scroll
Well,
back. You got to go back in time.
I should write them down like I do on
Saturday
nights, but it's too anymore. I don't have enough paper. Captain Infinity and Beyond. Don't have to waste a lot of paper and pens and stuff. I barely have enough as it is.
You should get that redoable ink, or the Captain Kirk memo pad that Scuba Pete has. You can just reuse it. The
that
marker.
Would be terribly inefficient in my case. K-Dog Broadcasting, Masters, Maniac Mexico, MMM. All right. I think there may be some people I was forced to leave out because it says so far back to go. People, I'm going to apologize to you because this thing is really going wonky on us. Anybody I left out is probably already gone anyway because this thing's showing only people that I've shouted out already. Unless someone says at the bottom that I've shouted them out. If you see that, let me know. But
Oh, I figured out how to show everyone how to follow. That'll take about 10 seconds.
Good.
How to do what?
How to do a follow on Patreon. I can show that when you're
available
done.
you can do that,
in the Delta Quadrant.
Put
Or
that
while
on
you're talking, I'll
do that. Mr.
I'll do
Angel, Chef. See, the better time to get back there, you start seeing who was here with us. And there you go. Okay.
You click the three dots and you click follow.
Dots. There you go.
And you click
I
follow.
don't have that. I just clicked those three dots because I was thinking the same thing.
Follow and share.
I don't think that's available in Canada, Stan. Hold on.
Brian Hepburn, Scott Knudsen.
Well, maybe someone can try that in America, Stan, and let us know.
I'll be shouting them out while you're both doing that. So
Click the
you do that, and I'll do this.
Yeah, you keep going.
Follow! How come it showed me this
Words.
time? Oh, because I'm on as a Patreon instead of a patron instead of a creator. Ha ha ha! Follow! Following!
Max Red Stewed. Sorry, I already got Max, but I saw him again and panicked. All right, but Dad Man and the Dad Man Clan, and so you figured it out.
Yep, we're good.
I'm
Yep.
following.
You got it, Raquel?
Everyone should
Okay.
be following. Follow.
All
And
right.
follow me too. Follow me. Oh, Monkey
Yeah,
Jeebus.
follow Raquel, yeah.
Monkey Jeebus is here.
Yep.
Monkey Jeebus, hey there, Michael Beacom and Cassandra.
Hey.
Almost done. Sorta. So now it's time to play that game, I guess. Since I went this far, what do you think there, Marky?
Oh, you always miss someone. It's not because you're fallible being.
Well,
it's just human nature.
That is actually. I haven't gotten to him yet, but yeah, it's really also that. I think you could safely say that it's also that. About Joseph Dredd. Here come the judge. Scuba Pete was here. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Monkey
Good
Jeebus
Leslie,
just popped
Leslie.
in.
Well, heard you say you didn't hear me say that?
Oh,
No, I think because he was like, give me 3 wags of a puppy's tail so I can go figure that out. So I think he was just tuned out so he didn't hear us.
okay. Did you say Dad Man?
I did.
You
never
did,
heard-
okay.
You know what? You know what?
Well,
that
I
music-
can't
that-
remember. That was all the way back in time.
In the clubhouse, the mighty clubhouse, the
Wrong song.
clubby speaks tonight.
John Rupus.
Reggae?
I'm yodeling. Anyone know-
You'll
Are you
make
Swiss?
You know what that's from? You don't know what that's from? Good God. What's wrong with you people?
A lot, if you want to know.
You don't know what that
In the
movie's-
jungle, the mighty jungle.
No. Ray Lucard.
Mark,
Someone will
I
get it.
100% thought it was in the jungle.
Somebody in the chat will get it. Or it's a movie you're going to be forced to watch. Come on, man.
I don't
All
know.
that, you know how much it hurts to do that, and you don't even get what it's from.
I'm not getting it.
No, it's good.
Oh.
It's good time passing noise.
Well,
I was once called by when Claude was guest hosting on a radio show and asked to do that for live on a radio channel back in the 90s. because it's
Forbidden
from a movie.
Planet?
No.
Well, that was Matthew Pounder's guess.
It's one of the funniest movies of all time, though. Cam's Crash Courses. Hello
What
there.
do you mean one of the funniest movies of all time? So it has
It's-
to be Steve Martin.
It's a comedy. It's one of the greatest comedies of all time. Minimus was here.
Minimus.
Bush Pan Down.
Bush Pan Down. Ooh,
was
Eric
yodeling.
gave you a gift.
Oh my! Probably to stop doing that. That's what it's for. I don't blame you. But if you did, I'll be right there, Eric. Penny was here. That's right.
Penny.
And Claude Salling was here as well. See?
Good.
See, what about now, Marco?
Well, Fiona has Raising Arizona, which is a great
Yeah, there you go. She
Nick
got it.
Cage movie. So I
Thank
just
you,
not catching
Fiona.
the tune. I've seen Raising Arizona multiple times.
I
I
and,
love
that
her
movie.
hapless homophone.
Buddy?
That was a very it's funny.
Ravenscroft
Anyway.
was here.
and that's
All
Nick
right.
Cage's best movie, probably.
Oh
right?
God, easily is his best movie. Number one, have you seen Raising Arizona?
I'm not a big Nicolas Cage fan.
Yeah, but-
Is it good?
Oh my God! What do you think, Mark?
Well,
That's
Cage was great
the
as the
funniest movies ever
Cage
made.
in the Cage show, but Raising Arizona is a total
He's
incredible
not Nicolas
classic.
Cage. He's just a guy. Funny. He's just a
Yeah,
hilarious
he's just a
character
funny
in that.
dude.
That's before
Yeah.
it was Nicolas Cage. Just happened to be his name at that point.
Nice.
Zathras
Yeah,
was
you
here.
would. I think you would like it. We're not telling you to watch it, but I think you
No,
would
we're
like
not telling you what. Zathras was here.
Yeah.
Badass was here.
Badass was here.
All right. I'm going to find a new system of spreadsheets or something to never have to do it like this again, everybody. But it gave me a chance to make really annoying sounds like.
That's it's the Coen Brothers movies, Raquel. I don't know if you like the
Coen
Coen
Brothers
Brothers.
movie.
I like the Coen Brothers.
Oh my God, it's their greatest movie by far, in my opinion.
Oh,
It's
nice.
their first
Maybe
one.
I'll check it
I
out.
think their first one may have been Blood Simple, but this was like their second movie. And it's ball-bustingly funny. John Goodman
Yeah,
is hilarious in it.
Holly Hunter's in
Holly
it.
Hunter. Yep. Was it Randall Tex Cobb was in that?
Francis
Cool.
McDermott. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it's great, and the
All right.
dialogue. I mean, that's what makes those movies so great. It's just such great dialogue.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you, buddy. Syndrome was based on Mark D with a C. No, oh man, you talking about Syndrome from Incredibles? That's well done, by the way, Fiona. Are you saying he's Syndrome from Incredibles?
The toy guy.
She got it in 3 yodels. Apologizing for the yodel. Hey, the only other yodel movie I can think of is Mars Attacks. You ever see that one? Number one?
Yes.
Sure.
That was
That's
Lisa's
hilarious.
guess.
That was a good guess, though. Yeah, all right, everybody. Well, we're going to let you go now. You suffered enough. But we love you.
We took you
appreciate
out
you.
by yodeling.
Sorry for the yodel. It was a total accident. I just needed some noise. I needed some noise to amuse myself with for the ongoing journey upwards to the chat thingy. I'll find a better method, I promise you. But you're all the best. You're all the greatest. Good night, everybody, and have
Good night,
a
all.
wonderful weekend. And of course, trek on and clobber on, clobbers.
Get those nerds! 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 What?
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
It's clobbering time! I just love clobbering time!